I'm like Santa Claus thinking I got the infinite fucking Christmas basket, but Donner and Blitzen are already on Xans.
I thought, just based off the content I watched, that you were sober.
I was.
I don't think you were sober in this, were you?
Oh, fuck no. I'm just added out. Categories. That's like steroids for battle rappers. I was like literally eating like a 0.2 or like 0.3 of in the morning when I get up. It's a miracle I'm still alive and we're even able to have this conversation. It really is, by the sounds of it. My Rizz is immaculate in rehab.
As soon as she starts talking about trauma and group therapy, you're on that the moment.
I'm beating off. I ain't above you, I ain't below you. I'm right here with you.
I like that.
Come on, player. Yes, sir. Cheers.
Yeah, I kind of just went through that cycle of like I was doing it every hour. Then I take a day off. The day after that, I just go hard. And finally, I just kind of like, from getting so scared every day, I almost like completely changed my mindset on it of like, yo, I'm like scared to do this anymore, you know? So I had to make myself fear it. And then I started smoking way more weed, taking hella and there was like something that just clicked in my brain when I started tripping all the time that was like, damn, you should stop this. Like you should slow this down. And then for a while I was just tripping all the time. I was microdosing at least like every morning, you know, and then by noon it's like, damn, I got a gram in me. I'm kind of a little, like I'm not tripping, but like everything's a little woozy, but that's how I handled myself. That was the only way I could do it.
It's kind of like Ibogaine treatment almost. You use psychedelics to get off.
Yes. And one of the like weirdest experiences I had, I remember there was a time I took a bunch of shrooms. It was like it was a chocolate bar. So like who knows if this was even shrooms. Like this could have been 4-MeO, DMT, or like whatever the
not psilocybin.
Yes, not psilocybin, but I took it and whatever it was had me just like completely introspective and just thinking about everything I was doing in my life. And I was just like, one of my homies I was with that night, he was still a cokehead, and I was like back in my hometown at this point, and he was like busting the bag out, and I'm tripping out next to him, and he didn't want to trip with me. And I remember I said to him, I was just like, damn, bro, like I was looking at it and I was like, this is gross. Like I don't want to be around this anymore. Like I don't want to kick it with this shit. And I told him, I was like, yo, bro, like you should like not do this around me anymore because like it's grossing me out, you know? And I remember he said to me, he didn't follow through with it, but he was like, damn, like we had this really ridiculous conversation where it ended in him being like, you know, I'm gonna join you. I'm also gonna stop doing coke. And like the next day he's back, you know,
of course,
raging that. But that night it was really serious. But for me, that stuck with me, and that mindset kind of lasted. And now it's at the point where like I'll still every now and then, you know, and I've talked about it publicly too, like I've slipped up, you know, it's not like I got sober and just never touch it again, but I've done it and like not immediately just had to do the whole bag. I've had this weird like thing where it's like, oh, okay, I can kind of stop myself.
But it also hits you way harder when you haven't done it. You like actually feel that for real.
I'll be tripping, dude. I'll be freaking out. Like the couple times I did it after I got sober, I'll take like 2 lines and I'm gone for the night.
Yeah, you know?
Like, and 2 like baby lines. I'll be like, oh, I just want this little thing, and I'm gone for that.
That's what I hate about blow is it's the commitment to keep consuming throughout the day because it's such a short. It's like
the fucking worst.
For your
it
nose.
Is the fucking worst, dude. If there's any drug that I used to do that I could go back to, like by choice, if I had to choose one, blow is like probably the bottom of the list. Yeah. Like I would pick so much other shit over that. I'd probably pick Xans over that, and I hate those.
That's
you know?
like, that's literally like the devil to me.
They're so, you know, I think what makes Xanax in particular so bad is that they're so normal.
Yeah.
Like all the other drugs, like even coke, you know, it's fairly normal, but it's not something you can get so easily. Like Xans, bro, everybody knows Xanax. Everybody takes Xanax. It's normal. Nobody thinks it's like that crazy and dark and addictive of a drug until you actually get hooked on it.
And it's one of the only 2 drugs that could actually kill you if you stop doing it cold turkey.
You'll literally have a seizure. You can have a seizure and die.
I've had this conversation. It's crazy because, you know, Xanax has plagued me for so long. It's been over the course of multiple relationships. And I've had to explain to women, some of whom were also addicts, some of whom were completely sober, and like, hey, I can't stop. Because if I just stop, like, I'm trying to
it's over
myself
with if you
off.
Stop. Yep.
Like I'm strung out on Xans, and like let's say my like a tweaker, and I'll be like, you could stop. You feel me? You could stop doing this. You're gonna be uncomfortable for a few days.
You'll get sick. You know. You'll whatever. You'll live. Yeah.
But if I stop, you know, I'm gonna have a seizure.
Actually, Yeah.
And that right there, people don't understand. Like it's deceptive, especially because of how liberally it's prescribed. You could go into any office and the secretary, if I'm a little nervous, hey, would you like a Valium, honey?
Bro, we could probably right now, no advance notice, go find a doctor's office, like on this episode, get a script and come back and still do the show.
For sure.
You know, like
Easily.
it's so easily. It's everywhere. And that's what makes it so bad too. It's like, it's almost like in a pill, you know? And like, it's fucking everywhere and it's cheap as dude. It's so cheap. Like everyone can afford a Xan.
Anyone can afford a Xan, and like once you, because like you said, the supply and demand principle, it makes it really cheap. But for me, like as soon as I feel that, it's just like mother's milk. I'm in utero. I'm in like everything is okay.
Dude, Xanax is the best feeling drug in my opinion. It's the most incredible feeling, and that's what makes it so bad. That's what makes it so dangerous, and that's why everyone watching this should stay away from Xanax in particular. Like, if there's one drug I could tell you never touch in your life, it's probably Xans, because you're lucky if you just stick to Xanax as a Xanax addiction. Most of the bartards that I used to hang out with are way beyond Xans at this point.
And it makes you
way
not
beyond.
give a fuck, so you'll take
They
whatever's
don't
in front of
care.
you,
They don't give a
Yeah.
dude. It's a bad drug.
It really
Bad
is.
drug.
And like the thing is, it's very deceptive because it makes you think that you have it under control, everything's okay, but in reality, you're like slowly deteriorating, becoming this weaker version of yourself. Like, it's.
So one of the things that I was curious about, or I had the impression of going into this show, and you very openly told me the opposite. I thought, just based off the content I watched, that you were sober.
I was.
You were for a while. When did you relapse?
So I relapsed September of last year.
Okay.
September of 2023. And initially it was just smoking. When I first got sober, which was February of 2020, that's like I went to treatment, and then I heard about the pandemic like a couple weeks later. And I wasn't at like a regular treatment center.
Yep.
It was a real, it was completely isolated from society.
Ooh, you're in the wilderness.
No,
sounds like.
I'm deep in like redneck Texas. Like as to where like if I were to leave the facility, there's 20 miles of Confederate flags that I have.
That's where they send the real drug addicts, bro. Like that's when they can't even have you close enough to a gas station to go buy something on the corner.
I can't go to treatment in LA. I've already burnt every treatment center in LA. Everybody know me out here. They sent me to rural Texas, and the place I was at, you're allowed to make one phone call a week. It's for 10 minutes, and it's like under the regulation of your therapist or whatever. So I have no clue what's going on in society at large. As society is kind of going through this purge, you know what I mean? And everyone's just locked in their zone. My narcissist drug addict mind is like, wow, I go to rehab and the world shuts down. You know what I mean? And so that really gave me a big head start in my recovery, because they really were trying to drill the fundamentals of the 12 steps into my head. And I became like a big book thumper. And in my family, like my family's generations of people in the 12 steps in the room already. So it was like par for the course and very natural. And I was so hardcore about my sobriety at first that I didn't even want to I wouldn't take an Advil. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah. I didn't want anything. And when you're in rehab, they're going to try to leave. They're going to try to make sure you leave with hella different prescriptions.
Oh yeah, they hook your ass up. They want you on everything.
And I was like, nah, I don't want none of that. I don't even want no melatonin, brother. Like I'm completely sober. No, nothing.
No pills in me. Nothing.
Right.
Only thing I'm swallowing is food.
You feel me? You feel me? Because I done been on pills my whole life. Let me see what it's like without this. You know what I mean? And what happened was about 3.5 years into my recovery, and I'll be honest, I had taken my foot off the gas when it came to going to meetings and doing my daily disciplines, prayer, meditation, everything. And my life had gotten kind of shitty. Like things, I always through my whole life had this, even when I was in the midst of just my worst, pitiful, incomprehensible demoralization, and I'm just in the worst addiction, I was always like, the 13-year-old version of myself will still think this guy is cool. You know what I mean?
Really?
Like, I don't know why. Like, this is the warped mentality I had, because I always was growing up wanting to be anti-establishment, going against the grain. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I didn't want to be like everything was around me. So I was like, oh, like I got a bad bitch, I've got tats, like I'm cool, I got a nice car. That's all. So like things that really are trivial as hell and don't mean anything.
Yep.
Like to me were highly emphasized. And when I got clean, I started to gain more self-awareness and see myself for how I really am, and I didn't like what I was seeing at a certain point. And
That's a hard thing to get over, bro. I think everyone goes through that at some point when they get sober.
yeah,
I for sure experienced that too when I got sober.
You know what I'm talking about?
100%, yeah.
Yeah.
I think you have to kind of not only get over, like, you have to discover who you are even after you get sober.
Yeah.
You know, like for me at least, when I stopped getting fucked up every day, I was like, dude, I don't even know who I am or what I like to do with myself or like what I want to be. You know,
yeah,
the only
yeah.
thing I wanted in my brain was drugs, and now that it's not that, it's like, well, I don't even know what I want for myself.
And they're like at the rehab, they was trying to tell me, I'm like, yo, I'm a rapper, you feel me? And like, this is all I do. And I'm rapping when I get out of here. And they're like, are you sure you want to be They're trying to get me to like, cause like,
Bro, they said the same shit to me. They did the
feel me?
same shit to me. Yes.
And I'm like, nah, that's one thing y'all not gonna change.
Yep.
Like, I'm still a rapper, motherfucker. You feel me?
Yep.
Like, as I'm leaving. But at a certain point in 2023, I had an event up in the Bay Area. It was like a battle rap event I was hosting, and my boy had documented the whole thing. And I came back and I watched the video. I saw what I looked like. You feel me? I was like, damn, like, what happened to your sauce, boy? you used to be cool. Like,
Yep.
you just look like a just lame kind of like chunky dork who still dresses like he's 15, but you're
Yep.
like 40 now. You're like, you're not wavy. Like, what the fuck happened to you? Like, you're not dope. And I was with my girl and we're watching it and she's like, yo, like back in the, like what happened to you? She's saying the same thing. Like, damn, like you don't look wavy here. Like, where's the dude that I fell in love with years ago and shit? And then I watched, there was a similar video of like one of my event recaps and like behind the scenes of me. And it was from 2013 when I was in active addiction, but my life wasn't unmanageable at that point. I'm just like, you know, like taking a bunch of psychs and ecstasy.
Going
and I'm
hard,
like,
partying.
Yeah, just going
Yep.
hard, partying, but still making money and living a great
Yeah.
life. Like,
There's definitely different levels of addiction, you know, and there's stages where you go through. Sometimes you might just party like that, and then sometimes it gets real fucking sad.
yeah,
you
exactly.
know?
Yeah,
real quick.
I was like a functional wook that wore deodorant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
Like, yeah,
that's a step above.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Well, the deodorant thing's huge. But then at a certain point, like I watched this video of me back then and I was like, damn, like there's this glow. How do I recapture the glow? And at that moment, I hadn't consumed anything, but I'm like, I'm getting fucked up. I need to.
So your relapse sounds like it really came out of like you looked at yourself and just had a self-confidence issue.
Yeah, I did, for sure. And because here's the thing. My first couple of years of sobriety, everything like is a upward trajectory. I was stripped to my bare bones, damn near had nothing, and I'm slowly, humbly building. Everything's a little humble victory. Like, wow, like I got a bank account again. I got, you know what I mean? Little things that
Every
people
milestone
take-
matters, yeah.
Every little milestone matters, and
Yep.
I'm like. Then I start, okay, like I'm actually, my career's starting to pick up. I'm making money. I got people wanting to invest in my battle rap shit again. Boom. Oh shit, like my account is 6 figures up. Like how the fuck did this happen? And then around that time, like I start feeling myself. I don't relapse, but I start, like I said, veering away from my daily disciplines and all that. And what eventually happens is I lose everything within the period of a week. Boom, my bitch leaves me. Boom, my business winds up failing because 90% of our assets are in cryptocurrency. And like
that's
this is-
tough.
Yeah, so we got reamed in the butthole with that. And I find out my mom's like illness, Alzheimer's, is going to the next phase. So
Oh,
like,
that's tough.
and this is August 2022, so I have a complete meltdown in sobriety. I don't relapse, but that's around the time my parents sent me to like this like little God camp thing. You know what I mean? Like they sent me to a spiritual retreat, and when I'm there, I basically, I wouldn't say it was a cathartic experience necessarily, but it was kind of a break from the day-to-day insanity that my life was becoming and the angry calls from all the people that I owe money to, et cetera. And then when I got back, within a week, like shit was cracking for me on No Jumper.
Really?
And then I kind of assigned all of my self-esteem and all of my value to whatever success was going on in No Jumper, and that became my entire identity. So whatever the comments said dictated my emotions.
Really?
Yes.
That's
1,000,000%.
You know, I honestly, I definitely feel that, and I related to that for a while, but I think part of getting sober and maintaining that sobriety is you have to, like, figure yourself out all the way before you can really, truly maintain it. And I had a hard time with that for years, bro. Like, I spent a really long time not knowing who the fuck I was, what I wanted, trying to be a bunch of things I didn't want to be and do a bunch of shit I didn't want to do. And, like, I just didn't know what the fuck to do with myself. And yeah, I was the same way. I kind of looked in the mirror and I was like, well, I don't really fuck with this guy. You know? Like, I wouldn't kick it with this guy. Like, this guy can't hit my blunt, you know? Right. So then I'm sitting there and I'm in my head and I'm like, wait, he hits my blunt every day. Like, fuck, dude. Like, I got to figure something out then. So, you know,
actually, I jerk him off sometimes.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Dude, this guy smokes my weed and I jerk his cock. Like, we have to be cool, you know? So I struggled with that too for a long ass time, you know? And for me, I think it was like, the internet's a double-edged sword, bro. Like, yeah, there's a lot of haters and there's a lot of negative people that tear you down. But also, I think it can help you in a lot of ways. And if you just kind of learn to focus on those positive comments, it can build you up a lot, you know? Because for me, my YouTube channel helped me a lot in my sobriety, bro. You know, for me at first, I made all these videos while I was fucked up. Like, if you go back, watch my oldest videos on my channel, I'm coked the fuck up.
Yeah, that's what I know you from.
Dude, like, absolutely out of my mind in those. I talk so fast. And, you know, now it's more from this thing where before I always thought, like, oh, I'm going to do drugs, so I always have something to make a video about. So now it's like, oh, like, my stuff doesn't always have to be about drugs, you know? And it takes a long time to figure out what to do that isn't drug-related in your life because everything in your life is drug-related.
Right.
You know? For me, it was my content. Okay, off the camera, too, or off the microphone, I'm still doing drugs all fucking day. You know, I'm literally in my bedroom. My parents think I'm sleeping. I got the door locked, and I'm doing lines all night and watching YouTube videos with my headphones on, you know? Like, it's bad. So it took years for me to finally like be comfortable with myself and be able to look in the mirror. And it's honestly a time thing. Like, for me, at least, it's different for everybody. But in my experience, there wasn't any one thing that I really did except just smoke a ton of weed and every day just keep going. You know, just like, I'm gonna just get high as fuck. I'm not gonna do anything else. And I'm probably not gonna look too closely at myself in the mirror today. Right. And after like 2 years of that, I started looking at myself in the mirror. I was like, hey, I fuck with this guy. Then I started buying myself some nicer clothes because I wanted to look nice. And I was like, hey, actually, I really like this guy, you know?
He can hit the blunt.
Yeah, like, he can hit my fucking weed. You know, I like
Roll
this
up,
guy.
motherfucker.
But it takes time, bro. And it sounds like that's something that, like, I hope you find that at some point, bro.
And I've gotten to a much better place when it comes to that. So and here's the thing, like I learned in 12-step recovery, they said either God is everything or God is nothing, right? And I had to embrace that concept. And I kind of applied that to a lot of things I shouldn't have, like the adulation, like, because the chat became my higher power. That love, the only source of happiness that I was getting, because I was so depressed and felt so bad about myself, and was like, the only thing that made me feel better were all the comments. Because when I first was cracking on No Jumper, it was like an unprecedented amount of love. Like, I was so used to feeling low that after my first episode, I didn't see the chat or nothing. I was like, oh, they probably roasting me, huh? And then they were like, nah, like, actually, they really liked you. And then, like, I'm reading comments, and it was like, this guy is amazing, and I'm like, oh, okay. And that kind of made me feel cool. And then I was riding that wave for a while. But naturally, this is like the trend on any YouTube community. People are going to embrace a new energy, and then they want to once they start to notice any glaring inconsistencies, they start to pick you apart. And then how you deal with that determines your longevity. I did not deal with that very well.
That's a hard thing to deal with, bro.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. And so subsequently, I wind up in March of that year burning I got fired from No Jumper. You know,
I did see that. I saw a clip of that.
I
was going to bring that up later.
Yeah. If you want to talk about that later, we can get into that later.
No, we can chat about it a little now, and then we'll just roll the clip later and chat about it more. So just brief, little.
So essentially, what happened due to my obsession and just how much I cared about the community of No Jumper, and the fact that, like, I had kind of didn't have too much contact with my regular friends or family, and I didn't have like a girlfriend at the time. Like, everything was on No Jumper. I cared about it so much.
You're putting all you had into that.
All
shit.
my eggs in that basket, and I wound up getting really talking way too much on Discord to the fans,
I deleted my Discord server so fast.
Bro,
That shit is cooked.
Toxic.
It's so toxic.
Yeah.
The only people that are on Discord all day are people that you don't want to talk to every day. Like, honestly, that's the hard truth. You know? I mean, shout out all the homies who are on once a week. They're usually cooler.
Yeah, but these fools, they might as well be like a proctologist. They want to see the inside of your butthole.
Bro,
you know what I mean?
Yes. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. And essentially, I wound up being a little bit too liberal with information that Adam had told me, and it wound up getting me fired. You know what I mean? And I still maintained sobriety for a good 6 months after that, but I was in a very bad way because my entire self-esteem was hanging in the balance of something that was now snatched away from me. So I'm Tom Petty, free falling at that point. You feel me?
Yeah, it was only a matter of time before you relapsed at that point, it sounds
only a matter of time.
Yeah.
Only a matter of time. And somehow, some way, through the fog and through the delusion, I did manage to repair my relationship with Adam. And then the beginning of this year, wound up getting brought back to No Jumper again. And on this tenure, I've made a big effort to not allow any type of feedback to it. And that's kind of why, I don't really, the bad part about that is I can't enjoy the positive feedback to the same degree, because if I open myself up to feel that scrutiny, then I'm opening myself up on the other side of the spectrum for however much potential love and adulation I could feel. So when I narrow that, inevitably it works both ways.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds kind of like, before you got on No Jumper, were you doing anything on the internet that got anything near that many views?
I was, though, because that's a lot of people don't know this. I was one of the first people that was producing battle rap content that was popular.
I have a lot of
YouTube.
battle rap clips that I was going to pull up later.
I
saw a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
You're very well known in that community.
Yeah. I was one of the first people that was really my ascension in the world of battle rap was kind of congruent to what was YouTube's ascension. And so in 2008, me and the homies started uploading battles from our little league that we had called Grind Time. And then all of a sudden, this shit's going viral and getting millions of views. And so that I was kind of known for that first. But no, the level of fame with No Jumper is
You literally have a 17-year-old video of you battle rapping here that was posted. And this is not the oldest one either.
Yeah, no, I got
July 20th, 2008. So this is one of the newer ones of you battle rapping that I saw.
Yeah, there's shit from 05.
And for everyone, is that you right there?
That's me.
Look at that.
I thought I was icy, fool.
I don't think you were sober in this, were you?
Oh, fuck no, bruh.
Do you remember what you were on in this?
At that exact moment, I'm just addied out, fool. I'm on some categories.
Was that your average preparation for battle rap?
Yeah, no, that's like steroids for battle rappers. They all be on that shit.
Yeah. Bro, Adderall is a crazy drug.
It is.
Adderall's nuts. When I was I got a script of that in 7th grade. I was prescribed 220 milligrams every day. One in the morning, then one when I got home from school to do my homework. And I was this geeked ass little fucking 12-year-old, just taking my prescription, thinking that was normal. 40 milligrams a day.
Just on COD, smoking fools.
My KD was 3.8, dude. I was a demon on Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, all those games. I was locked
essentially
up with Adderall.
scontaed out playing.
Bro, I'm telling you, the 2 reasons that I don't like Adderall, well, 3 actually. The first one is it actually works for me. So immediately, I'm not. A lot of my friends back in school that I'd sell them to used to be like, dude, this shit's lit. I take a lot of them to get lit. And I'm like, bro, I take them, I just lock in. I just fucking focus. But 2, my dick shrivels up, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I get turtle dick off that shit. And always in the comments, bro, they don't believe me. If you've ever taken Adderall, you know.
No, for sure.
It's a real side effect.
What I've noticed with any upper, and this is Adderall, this is blow, this is ecstasy. You gotta, if you trying to fuck for real, you gotta get that off on the ascension while you're going
early on. Once
yeah.
you're deep in there, it's over with.
Yeah, and I done been. You'll be horny as a motherfucker, shoving a soft dick in a bitch. You feel me? For hours,
just trying to make it work.
I'm nutting with this. How are you nutting but you soft? My dick confusing a motherfucker. Like, how? But, yeah, them uppers are... Yeah.
Yeah, they're dangerous.
But for sure, at that moment, I'm off the categories. You know what I'm saying? And I was super hungover. Fools are at the little bar in Orlando, Florida, getting drunk with some Disney World bitches and all that. You feel me? You know
the Disney
how it
World
go.
hoes back in 08.
Yeah.
Was that where the baddies were at?
Well, we just happened to be in Kissimmee, Florida, right by us. So I was like, oh, you bitches probably going to Disney World. You at the little bar. What's happening? You feel me? Yeah.
Yep. Leave your family at the hotel.
Exactly.
You know, like,
exactly.
We're tapping in.
Yeah.
So to rein it in a little bit, because we never even did an intro yet.
That's
we
right.
really got
Come on,
fucking
man.
right to it.
We got too much chemistry, gang.
For everyone watching at home right now who might be wondering what the fuck is going on here, this is episode, which one is it? 39, ladies and gentlemen. And we have a very special guest on the show today. But before we talk about that, you see the hats. It's Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody. Hanukkah, if you celebrate, Kwanzaa, whatever other holiday. I don't care. Happy holidays, everybody. This is coming out on Christmas fucking Day, though. So... Merry Christmas. Drop your gifts in the comments. If you got anything cool, let me know in the comment section. Me, personally, I probably just am going to end up smoking a lot of weed.
Lumps of coal.
Yeah,
for everybody.
you know, that's probably what I deserve this year, honestly. I haven't been super well behaved, but...
Are you old enough to have actually taken a dab off of, like, a hot piece of coal?
I'm 25.
So you're definitely not. You're not even
No,
close.
but when the first time I ever took a dab, me and all my homies, we had a Bunsen burner in my friend's garage, and we bought a gram of shatter, and I went over there, and we all had plastic straws, and we literally just dropped the gram on there and tried to fucking hit it, but all our straws melted.
Yeah.
So we just smoked like 80% plastic. But I did get high. So.
You were like doing it the way fools smoke like blues.
Yeah. Like we had no fucking clue what we were doing, bro. We were like 15. But yeah, I wasn't around for all that.
Yeah, like back in 04, we were doing these things that we would call it like hash dabs. Literally hash dabs. So we're taking butane hash, putting it on the coal, and like, yeah, essentially the same thing. Doing like
sounds fucking brutal. I'm not gonna lie.
It was pretty janky. It was pretty janky.
So all y'all watching at home, episode 39 of the Gobcast, and today we have a very special guest who, prior to seeing his Soft White Underbelly interview, I wasn't aware of his lore. We have Lush from over at No Jumper stepping in today. Now, I really appreciate you pulling up. It's great to have you, man. We've already had a great conversation so far, but I got a lot more that I want to ask you about here.
Now, baby.
For all you guys out there wondering why I invited Lush on the show today, Lush is an open drug addict, and he's really open to talking about it, as you've probably already heard. Now, I think he has a very important story for a lot of you guys to hear. When I saw a Soft White Underbelly interview, which I'll link in the description below, I related to it quite a bit. You're probably going to hear some similar stuff, some overlap from that interview to hear potentially. But I still suggest you go watch that because it's a banger. He has a very important story, and I know a lot of you young drug addicts that probably can't feel your face while you're watching this right now. Enjoy. I hope you can relate to this story. But Lush is more than just a drug addict. Lush is also one of the hosts of No Jumper, which is a very well-known and also somewhat controversial podcast that I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of comments about, and also a very, very well-known individual in the battle rap community. When I was doing my research on you, I found probably more stuff about your battle rap career than I did anything on No Jumper.
It's crazy,
I found so many clips. I found Reddit threads talking about you not only like rap in the battle raps, but you're a host of them as well, which sounds interesting. We'll get to all that later. But before we get any further, the one thing that I like to ask most of my guests, which I got to ask you, if there's someone out there watching this at home who has never seen you before, they have no idea who you are, how would you explain yourself to them?
I'm an anomaly. Like, I'm not, and I don't say that in an egotistical way. I'm just like, I think that a lot of people, when they first see me, they don't really know how to make sense of me. I think I'm a bit abrasive to people because they're like, okay, I can't tell if this dude is old or if he's young. He looks old as hell. He looks like life done kicked that ass. but he dresses like he's in middle school. He looks like he's white, but he kind of like has like this like black affectation when he talks, and he like hangs out with like a bunch of essays too. So I know I throw people off, and they don't really know, because I know if I saw myself, I'd be like, what the fuck is this? And I wouldn't know how to categorize myself. And normally when people are when I'm unable to make an assessment, I'm like, I put you in the weird category and I don't like you. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people do that. I think the more people see me, they get used to me a little bit, and then they decide if they like me or if they don't. But I know that I think the main thing that I would try to impress upon to somebody that doesn't know me is that I mean no harm. You feel me? Like
Nice.
I'm a loving soul at the end of the day, and I try to I want to leave this place better than I found it.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
I like
I
that.
really do, genuinely.
I mean, yeah, that's I think that's a normal human thing to want to do unless you're kind of fucked up.
Well, although my actions don't lend itself to necessarily,
Of course,
supporting that ideal.
I think drug addiction changes who you are as a person, though, for sure. I think when I look back at a lot of the shit that I used to do when I wasn't sober, I look back at that and I'm like, I cringe thinking about it. I get uncomfortable. I'm like, wow, like I really fucked up. Like some of the shit I said to my family members and shit, I'm like, damn.
Well, it trips me out because like how the lack of self-awareness, even that'll vary from day to day. You know what I mean? Like, so since I came back to No Jumper, there was a period of time where I was doing a bunch of uppers. Like I was microdosing meth basically. Like I was like literally like eating like a 0.2 or like 0.3 of meth in the morning when I get up, and I'd just be like super. It basically would hit me like Adderall, though. I'm not.
And that's a microdose for you?
Yeah, I think that is a microdose.
I don't know anything about meth dosing.
Well, it's like
that's one of the ones I've never tried.
Well, it's not the typical way that people consume meth.
Yeah,
people
you smoke
snort
it
or
yep.
smoke it. You know what I mean? I wasn't doing that.
You ate the fucking
I'll just,
little rock.
Just take a little bit. You feel me? And
Yeah.
And then I wouldn't realize like how intense I was, and I'm just like interrupting Brick Baby and Adam, and then like I look back the next day, I'm like, bruh, it wasn't that serious. Like I'd come home and go to my girl, like, what's up, girl? Like this, and she'd be like, yo, like, are you all right? Like, what's going on with you, bruh? You high? I'm like, no, I'm not high.
You're just fucking intense. They knew something was up.
Yeah. So there's been different periods of use. I stopped doing that. And it's been like the downers recently more. But what I will say is I think it's great that I'm on this pod right now, and it's a good cautionary tale, good, bad, and ugly, because
100%.
I'm in the midst of like, I'm going through it.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I had no clue that you had relapsed. When I had done my research for this episode, I have no clue if you've like talked about this publicly before. You relapsed?
I have, but not as candidly as we're going to right now.
Yeah. And I think it's an important thing for people to hear. Honestly, probably 50% of the stuff I had written for this is fucking mute now. It's irrelevant.
Well, we might be able to. You'd be surprised because I was sober for a while, so I could go back to, you know what I mean. But yeah, I feel you.
Well, I think the relapse is even more important for people to hear about.
I think
arguably,
it is too.
Because there's a lot. The relapse is always worse. It's always worse. Like when you go through that period of sobriety and then you relapse, you're going hard as fuck on that relapse. It's not like when you first started doing that drug, you're doing this little bit, you're immediately jumping back into whatever the fuck you're doing before.
Right.
You know?
To be honest, because such a long period of time had passed, I kind of had to start slower because I'll tell you about the relapse.
Fill me in.
Okay, I'll tell you about the actual relapse, and one thing I want to say that really bothered me when I was sober and still bothers me is that maybe because I've taken so many drugs, and maybe because the fact that people associate me with drugs so much, even when I'm sober, people be like, this fool's on tweak. Like, this fool's tweaking right now. He looks fucked up. Look how fucked up he looks. I can tell he's fucked up. But I'm sober. That shit really bothered me a lot. I just wanted to put that out there. Now, my exact relapse. So what happened was, at first, I told you I watched that video and I was like, I need to reclaim this energy. I need to get this guy back. I need that guy
right
back.
there.
Yeah. He's super cool. He wears bright colors. Where's he at? You know what I mean?
That's the homie.
That's the homie. He can hit the blunt. And in fact, we could tag team a bitch. You feel me? Like I don't even do that. Yeah.
That's Eiffel Tower, dog.
Yeah. So at first I was like, I should do some psychedelics. I'm gonna get like a hotel room by the beach and like do some shrooms and like reconnect. Yeah. That was my first thought. I'm glad I didn't do that. It would have been way too intense. Because what I did, I went to the dispensary. You know, people like, we ain't got to pay for weed, but I went to the dispensary, spent like $70 on an 8th straight custody prices. Like, give me the most super.
You want the craziest super exotic thing.
Yeah. And because I hadn't even heard the word Zaza before. When I went to rehab, Zaza wasn't a word. I came out, all these kids are talking about, where's the Zaza? I miss Zaza. This is hurting my feelings. So I was like, give me the top of the top shelf. I should have just been like, give me the booth pack, bruh. Shoot the mid. You know what I mean? Please, because this was way too much. You know what I mean? Like, so I get the weed, and And my bitch is like, we need to go to Walmart. I'm like, all right, for sure. We go to Walmart. So we're in the Walmart parking lot. I just bought a new bong. Just bought this $900 eighth. You feel me? Pack a bowl. Put on Cypress Hill, the music I used to listen to in 7th grade when I would smoke weed, and took a bong hit. And by the time like I'm exhaling the second bong hit, I'm like, oh, this is like way more intense than I remember, because I haven't been on anything, bro. I haven't been outside my body in so long.
And taking a fat bong rip, like, that hits too.
It did,
That's nothing like just one tap off the joint. You know?
Yeah. And I got lungs, you feel me? So yeah, that bitch smacked me. And of course, where am I now? I'm teleporting through Walmart, literally like the dregs of society.
Yep.
The low, like if you could just take a cross section of the lowest common denominator that America has to offer and crystallize it into its purest form, it's Walmart. And here I am walking through Walmart. I'm looking at my girl. I'm like, damn, my bitch got a hella tattoos. She even got tattoos on her face. This is crazy. Like, then I'm looking, I'm like, look at all these pieces of shit. Like, they know I'm high. What if I fall over? Like, I'm like literally.
They're all high too.
Yeah. They're all like, yeah. You see this motherfucker? Yeah. Like, and then there was one point I get cotton mouth, and I'd recently gotten fake teeth put in. You feel me? I got dental bridges. These motherfuckers ain't real. I done smoked my teeth out way before that. You feel me? So
wow, okay.
Yeah.
That's some heavy shit.
Yeah. So my teeth are like kind of feeling weird, and I have super cotton mouth. So I'm not used to it because I hadn't been sober for a long time. So I start like licking my whole lips and face, and as I'm doing that, there's like this like 70-year-old senora, like this old like Latina woman walking by looking right at me, and I just realized that I'm like giving her like the licking my chops, like I want to eat her out. And she's looking at me like, I need to go to Dios mío, I'm going to church right now. Like, you feel me? It was all bad. I'm like, yeah, but and then I just didn't stop. A few hours later, I had a glass of wine, and it's been cracking ever since, brother.
So it was really just the bong rip that set you off.
The bong, but it wasn't the bong rip that set me off.
Yeah, I mean, obviously in your mind, it had been going a lot before that.
Correct.
But the actual action of that night, it seems like that bong rip just completely sent you on a whole different plateau.
It did.
Like, you were gone.
It did.
You were
There
gone.
was, and then like I had, a lot of people say there's nothing worse than a body full of alcohol and a head full of AA. Like when you've been in recovery for years and you relapse, for some reason, I was able to compartmentalize my emotions. I was just like, you guys are dead to me. I stopped talking to all my sober like homies, not all my sober homies, but my AA homies. If you're a part of like the 12-step program, I don't want to see you. I mean,
once you relapse, it's hard to be around those people.
Yeah.
I went to NA. It didn't really work for me, so I didn't go very long. But I remember I was still going hard, and I'd show up to those meetings, and I'd be high, and I'd just look around and be like, yo,
this ain't
can't
it.
fucking be here.
Totally.
We take a cigarette break like twice during the meeting, and the first one I'm out that bitch.
Yeah, no, Fishowski, you're lucky if you make it to the cigarette break.
Yep.
I need restroom over here. Okay, I'll be right back.
Yeah, cigarette break was a good night.
Yeah. That shit was all bad. And but as far as like, so I just started smoking weed, and then I kind of had to retrain myself how to get high. You know what I mean? Be like, I didn't know what my tolerance was. I didn't know once I start feeling like this, stop drinking. You know what I mean? And so I kind of had to. I'm like green again. I'm like a 14-year-old kid essentially when it came to drug use. And
Yeah, just getting high as fuck.
getting high as fuck, and I kind of like at first, like my girl was super worried, and she was like, dude, like, what are you doing? I remember this is how warped I was. Maybe it was like the second or third day of me getting high, and she went to work like a regular person, and I'm like, oh, she's probably gonna think it's cool, if she sees me like drinking a michelada. You feel me? She's like from Guatemala. She probably will think that like that's like really cultural.
You're
of
respecting
me.
her culture.
Yeah.
You're taking it on.
Yeah, mango michelada at that. You feel me? And she came home and she's like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're still in your boxers drinking? Like, what the fuck? Get a life, loser. Like, dude, like, I'm like, what? Mango michelada.
It's your culture.
Yeah.
Come on.
And she's like, nah, my culture is we get up with the sun and work, motherfucker. You feel me? Like, and, she's actually been, I think for sure, if I didn't have her in my life, I don't know where this trajectory would have taken
Y'all are still
me.
together.
Yeah.
She's holding it down for you.
Yeah, she's thugging it out with the player.
Damn.
She's
I
thugging
mean,
it out.
it's a tough situation because getting sober for other people never works.
It
Like,
don't.
you got to do it for you, you know? Do you want to get sober? Like, have you ever thought in your head, like, oh, I do want to get that again? Or are you just having fun?
I don't want to feel like I feel, but I don't want to, like, the idea of being sober, it doesn't sound cool, but I don't want to keep, like, I feel like shit. My body is shutting down. Like, when people see me, I'm on camera, I might seem like I kind of have it together, but that's really just, like, the feigned period of functionality between me being completely just, like, useless as a human being. And that's how I spend most of my time, just like wanting to lay down, you know what I mean? Like not wanting to talk or interact with people.
Yeah, and I mean,
like,
that's a dangerous cycle, bro, because you get stuck in that, like, oh, I feel like a piece of shit. I'm going to take more. I'm such a piece of shit. Now you feel like a bigger piece of shit, and you are being a bigger piece of shit, and it's just this cycle of, like, it's tough to break.
That's the thing. It's the bad decisions that I wind up subsequently making that make it worse.
They keep
and then
piling
it starts
up.
piling. And even when I have blessings, like cool things happening, like, you know, like the No Jumper thing going well. And then I got a deal for my own studio and to build my channel. And I've been having a hard time doing that because it's hard for me to even like focus. You know what I mean? It's hard for me to get my head out of my ass long enough to even execute these coherent ideas that I have and all that. So it's been difficult, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
I mean, relapsing is fucking hard, bro. And trying to balance, it sounds like as many things as you're trying to do with having your own studio, making your own content, and doing No Jumper, and relapsing, like, you can't balance all that. You know? You only got 2 hands. You need 3 for that. You know, something's got to get dropped. Sounds like.
And then there's a gang of then there's the whole. You feel me? Producing a bunch of artists, executive producing their albums. There's a whole. I have my sync and licensing hustle that I do with music. So there's so much different things, and I'm basically, you know what it's like when you have a million tasks and you're like basically half-assing all of them, and you're eventually able to pretty much accomplish nothing.
Yeah,
you know, and that's like damn near. I'm afraid that's like where this goes, but I don't want to get sober. So it's like this weird place that I'm in right now of like,
bro, it's
sobriety
really tough.
limbo.
I mean, for me, all I'm gonna say is, like, when I first got sober, I don't think I really wanted it either. I did it out of fear, you know, like I did it because I was like pretty scared of dying at that point, you know, and I didn't want to die, not because I was like, oh, life is so great. I just didn't want to die because I was like, bro, I just don't want to do more blow. You know, like I was like, fuck, if I just take a break, then I'll come back and I can get high as fuck without having a heart attack. You know? Like I'll buy myself more time to get high as fuck. And through that, you know, I kind of realized that sobriety is great, but it's because of the things that I was able to get done in sobriety that during my drug use, I always thought that I was so productive. Like I would get geeked up and think like, oh, I'm getting so much done. And then I realized the shit I got done, I rushed it and did wrong, you know, and then I didn't do a bunch of shit that I forgot about because I got too fucked up for the rest of the night, you know?
That's it. And then, you know, at a certain point, you stop even caring. And it's crazy because if I bring myself back to 25 years old, when I was 25 years old, that's right before shit started cracking for me on YouTube with the battle rap. I was just going really hard. I was living up in the Bay Area. I had this whole hip hop dream, and like I felt like the world was ahead of me. And this is after I had already been to 10 treatment centers and been locked up and been at but it's crazy because I thought that all the bullshit was behind me, but really I hadn't even started fucking up yet. It's crazy. It like doesn't get better if people keep going on that path. It's a miracle I'm still alive and we're even able to have this conversation,
is by the sounds of it. And it's really interesting that like you're very self-aware about all of it. Like, you know how bad your drug addiction is, it sounds like. I mean, I don't know you super well personally at all, so I don't know how hard you're going. You could be bullshitting me right now for all I know, but I don't think you are, you know? And like, it sounds like you know how bad it's impacting you and how you can't get the shit done and how it's fucking up your health, but it sounds like you can't stop either.
It's weird. Can't stop, won't stop. Bad boy. No Diddy. When I was what happened was I look, earlier today I did a fucking line. I did a line of blow this, and I had no desire to. In fact, I didn't want to. I really didn't want to. One of my partners.
Why'd you do it?
One of my partners showed up, and there was a plate of blow, and it was there.
Fuck.
And he asked me if I wanted a line, and I said no. And then like 5 minutes later, I was like, yeah. And I did a line. I was like, I know I'm going on this big podcast. You feel me? Like to talk about drug addiction. This is 2 hours before I got here.
Yeah.
And I find myself doing a line at 10 in the morning on a motherfucking.
Honestly, fitting for this show.
Yeah. It is. But that's how candid I'm being with my And last night I took 3/4 of a bar and drank myself to sleep because I'm so stressed up. Because I have a gang of bills and debt, and I'm just like, the boy is in the midst of. Like y'all are
shit right now.
Y'all are catching me at a raw moment. That's what I was kind of like.
Yeah.
This is kind of lit. I might as well just unload everything on Goblin's Pod because.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you right now, the audience is gonna really appreciate this, and they're gonna relate to a lot of this. I think this is important for a lot of people to hear, bro. And it sounds like you really care about the comments, and I hope you go back and I hope you read these comments because I think they're gonna be really, really supportive.
Lush is a junkie.
Well. Everyone watching is probably a fucking junkie too. We go hard over here, But I think a lot of people are going to relate to your story, and it sounds like the addiction's impacting you every fucking way. I mean, you have financial problems you're talking about. You said your body's shutting down. What are the health impacts that you're dealing with right now?
So the biggest issue I have physically, and I will attribute this to my addiction to a degree, and I can tell you exactly why, is my sciatica. I have sciatica. Do you know what that is?
No, what is that?
Sciatic nerve. It's basically like a nerve at the bottom of your spine that connects to your whole entire leg.
Oh God, this sounds painful.
It's like the worst thing ever. You feel me? It's like the most. Me having sciatica, I'm like Larry David. You know what I mean?
Like a pinched nerve by the side. Is everything
good? I have a pinched nerve, and which a lot of it comes from doing this high impact podcasting.
Oh my God.
This is insane. Okay, I don't know what y'all got happening. What y'all got going on.
It's really should we pause? We just lost the whole computer monitor. All right. Yeah. All right. Either way.
So the sciatic thing. So basically, I was taking. I love ecstasy. That's one of my favorite drugs. And I noticed one day after I was rolling, my back felt a little wonky, and then for the past month, I can't sleep for more than 3 hours without my leg being completely inflamed and just waking up in excruciating pain.
Fuck. So how long have you had that?
It's been about a month and change. Yeah.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah. Right now I'm in pain.
What do they give you for that?
So essentially, first I went to a chiropractor. Then the next step is going to be I need to go to a motherfucking get an MRI, and then gonna see what is it pushing on. Is it really just a slipped disc or a herniated disc, or do I have a fucking big cluster of AIDS or what? I don't know. That's hopefully it's not a big cluster of AIDS.
That's got to be bottom of the list.
Most likely a cluster.
That's a lot of AIDS.
Yeah, that's an awful lot of AIDS. But most likely it's a slipped disc, and then they'll either give me some kind of cortisone injection. It's some bullshit, bruh. It sucks.
That sounds horrible.
It sucks.
What else have you dealt with?
Health-wise, I'm just I'm always tired.
Really?
Never have any energy. You know what I mean? And I attribute that to the Xanax. And
being a drug addict is tiring, bro. Mm-hmm. It really is.
And my favorite thing to do is be asleep. I don't want to be. I hate being awake. I hate doing stuff. I hate the feeling of waking up and then thinking of all the impending doom of the chaos that I've created, the 5 different phone calls of people hey, what's up? Do you have that money yet?
Yeah.
The creditors, the fucking, the rent's due.
My credit's still shot.
You know what I mean?
Bad.
Damn, I have to go. I have to in 6 hours be on no jumper. This is you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't want to fuck up because I love being on no jumper. And I love podcasting. I don't want to stop doing this. I have not missed an episode since I started back there. You know what I mean? It means so much to me, and I'm so grateful. And I want to do good, and I want to be entertaining, and I want to be somebody that people are interested in my opinion. I want this useless information that I've spent the past 42, by the time y'all see this, 43, because my birthday's on the 18th.
Hell
Years.
yeah, happy early birthday.
Thank you, brother. Accumulating. I want it to not be for nothing. Because this is what I'm supposed to do with all this bullshit information, this pop culture, this entertainment, this art, this hip hop that's just been, just crammed into my skull, knocking out the quadratic formula and anything that might be not that the quadratic formula is useful, but anything that might be of any use or substance to me. By the way, x equals negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. That's a quadratic formula, bitch.
I don't know
so
that
it's
shit.
still in my motherfucking head. I'm just saying, I just want this to not be for nothing. And I really care about it. And I'm at a scary point. You know what I mean? I'm at a scary point.
Do you realize that, like, shit's going to hit the fan at some point at the path you're going, right?
Yeah. And I think that I narrowly will escape at the last minute. It's been my pattern. Like I'm like Steph Curry when it's like 1 second left.
It's just so interesting to me to hear you like acknowledge this pattern and like still go for it.
Yeah,
like you're like, yeah, I do this every time. I fuck this up. Like, have you? It sounds like you probably have actually. I could probably answer my own question. You probably have at some point thought to yourself like, oh, I need to do something different. But it sounds like there's a disconnect between what you're thinking and what you're actually doing.
Yeah, like wanting to do something different. Like, I don't even know what that would entail. Like, I think that, like, okay, could I get off the Xans? Mm-hmm. Yes. I've been way deeper in the woods. Like, this is not the most fucked up I've ever been.
Yeah.
It's like one of the, I would say, top 10 most stressful situations I've been in as far as like the pickle that I put myself in as far as situationally. However, I've been way more strung out. And I know I could get off of it. It might entail me going to like an outpatient or something like that, or weaning myself off the Xans and stuff. But like, I could get off of it. I just don't know what everything else looks like. And I don't know what even that looks like. And I don't even know if I truly even want that in my heart. Like, I just want things to be better. You know what I mean? I just want to feel better.
If you don't want
I know this sounds insane, dude.
I mean, no, yeah, 100%. But I also, I get exactly where you're coming from because, like, I get it. I'm a drug addict too, you know? And even when you get sober, you're still always a drug addict, you know? Like, I'm still a coke addict, bro. Like, you put a plate in front of me right now, I'm going. You know?
That's what
like,
I'm saying. It happened to me earlier.
For sure.
You know?
Yeah, for sure. You put a plate in front of me right now, I'm going. But also, that's why, like, I stay away from that shit, you know? Like, a lot of my homies that still do that stuff, like, the only reason they still kick it with me is because they don't bring it around me, you know? Have you ever, like, I mean, this is your hometown, bro. So
Yeah.
that makes it harder. Like, you're born and raised L.A.
Yeah.
And you started doing drugs hella young. So, like, you know your way around. You know where to get shit here,
Bruh.
probably, very well.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, does that make it a lot harder for you to try to disconnect yourself from that? Do you ever try to disconnect yourself?
Oh, for sure. I mean, yeah, absolutely. But the reality is, like they say, the old cliche goes, wherever you go, there you are. You know, and people call it a geographical in the 12-step programs when you try to relocate yourself to run from your problems. And look, yeah, LA is a fucking cesspool, especially the West Side where I'm from. And it's because not only, like, is there some hood shit going on, it's because there's a lot of money and all, like,
So much.
You know what I mean? Like the affluence. And I think me growing up in a privileged family just made it 100 times worse. And that safety net created, like, maybe without that, I would have died. I don't know. But it also maybe gave me this false sense of invincibility that I could just continue to thrive despite whatever circumstances are going on. But trip out on this, bro.
Okay.
Trip out on this. So I grew up pretty privileged. You know what I mean? Grew up pretty privileged. My two best friends growing up, both their families were richer than mine. You know what I mean? Like, they made, like, my family's crib look like it was the projects because these fools are like the Fresh Prince of Brentwood.
There's always someone a level above.
Yeah, yeah. And these are like my two homies. Like, one of them I knew since preschool, the other one since kindergarten. And from like kindergarten to 10th, 11th, they was like my best homies. Both these motherfuckers died in the past 2 years from drugs and, you know, a self-unaliving. You know what I mean?
I mean, doing this shit as long as you have, you've probably lost a lot of people, dude.
Oh my God, I lose people all the time. But the weird thing to me is, like, know so many people from so many different walks of life, and like so many people that I've met in my subsequent travels being involved in hip hop, which led me all through the streets and being, I've experienced poverty and extreme wealth. I've been through all of it. Self-imposed, as you may, I didn't have to go the path I did. I never had to, but I did. And that's the path I wound up on. And it just trips me out that so many kids I know that grew up middle class or grew up even, below that, did so much better. Like 90% of the rich kids I grew up with are fucking failures, or completely dependent on their parents, or they're dead. This shit's gnarly.
Yeah. I grew up, so for me, I grew up in a very affluent area, but like my mom was very poor. She just got like the cheapest condo in the affluent area so I could go to school with those kids. And I grew up with a lot of those kids, and all of my friends who I did drugs with who were very, very well off growing up are completely fucked right now. Like they are strung out. I have a buddy right now who's like deep in a fent right now. Like he's probably genuinely going to die soon, which is like terrible to say, but like it's the reality of it, And like a lot of my other friends, because they grew up in that privilege, they don't have any like drive to do anything else. I think that really does kind of fuck with your drive growing up in that privilege. It's like when you go off and you get into the real world, you realize like, wait, I'm doing this and making how much fucking money? Fuck this shit, dude.
Right.
Like, I'm good. I'm going home,
Right. Well, you don't value money. You don't have the same,
not
like,
at all.
like we're not trying to, because I wasn't taught. And look, this is going to come across to people as like, oh, feel bad for me. I'm a rich kid, which is the lamest shit ever. There's no sympathy that should be had for me or anybody else that, does this. I'm not asking for that. I'm not looking for that, but I am trying to provide insight into the psyche, because people are like, you had it so good. How could you possibly fuck it up? But like, I never was really taught about what to do with money or how to build credit or anything. It was just a non-issue. Just pursue your dreams, Nick. You're going to be fine. Be great. Be the best version. We want to see you win. And that's what my family, they were very supportive. And that's kind of, I think I spent a great deal of time in my life trying to help other people get money and trying to put other people on. And when I would get a bag, like that's why with the battle rap thing, you brought up like hosting battles. I dropped so much of the money that I was hustling from slanging peas and just like serving whatever dope I had at the time, and just whatever money I came across in my life, I put millions of dollars literally into battle rap,
Really?
Putting money in other people's pockets.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, damn, God's helped me so much. I was born getting helped. I feel like I should help people. You know what I mean? And it's not done from like this altruistic perspective of I'm this fucking great Buddha of a human that just wants, it's just like, I kind of just was naturally what I felt inclined to do as a human being. And then at a certain point, I didn't realize like, oh shit, like I'm like the plane's crashing. I put the oxygen mask on everybody else. There's no oxygen mask for me. I'm finna motherfucking die now. And that's, I think,
So I'm gonna make a little observation. I just want you to tell me if I'm right or wrong. It sounds like, just from hearing that you kind of use being giving and doing that partially as a tool to like not really focus on or worry about your shit and not your addiction.
Yeah, I think that there's, just anything to distract myself from or even like create this, perpetuate this illusion that I'm somehow on the right path or doing the right thing. And if there's people, because look, this is something else I learned through recovery and the steps. And there's the third step, and I'm not trying to be like a 12-step thumper or whatever, and that's why I'm not being specific to a program, because the steps are non-denominational, right? It talks about I'm relinquishing my power to somebody great, like to a God or a higher power
greater than me.
Right. And in doing that, I realize when I try to be a good person, I'm not necessarily doing it because I really want to help people. It's a part of me. It's an ego thing. I want you to think that I'm a great person.
Yep.
And like, damn, if it was because of Lush that I got this, it was because of Lush that this happened. Lush put me on. And then I have that forever. And that's pretty fucking twisted.
Yep.
That's not like giving from a genuine place.
Yeah.
Like, so like, yes, there is like a genuine altruism in my soul. And then there's like the drug addict arrogance. And I am self-aware enough to see that there is a little bit of crossover.
I used to do similar stuff where like I would be very giving with my drugs with my friends. Like when I buy a bag of weed, all my friends would smoke that shit down damn near more than me, you know? And it was my way of feeling good and feeding my ego. I thought it was like, oh, I'm just a giving guy. But like, now that I'm sober, I don't do that shit, you know? Like I'm good to people and like, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with myself. But I use that and I recognized it pretty quickly into my sobriety that like, I used to do that shit and I'd use it as a crutch because I felt so bad about myself.
Yeah.
You know, I hated who I was, you know, and I just would constantly distract myself from that. I was like, yo, I can't think about myself. But it's weird seeing and hearing you talk a lot about your addiction and talk about yourself very introspectively and very straight up, but also like you smile about it and you like, you know, it seems like you kind of laugh it off and like almost like you take it seriously, but you don't at the same time.
Well, it's just
you know,
like
almost as a way to like deal with it. It seems like.
Well, yeah, it's become normalized to me, bro.
Yeah.
This is the majority of my life. I'm 43 years old. I've been struggling with addiction since I was 12. Even before then, I had the tendencies. I knew what drugs were since I was a little ass kid. This is like the totality of my existence. Is got this tint of addiction on it. You know what I mean? It just colors to the point where I'm not even aware of me laughing it off. It's because it's second nature. I'm genuinely unaffected because at a certain point you have to remove yourself emotionally or else I'm just going to be fucking crying all day because I'm literally, you know what I mean? It's a very terrifying thing. And then also like back to the helping other people thing, I realized that you're right, it does distract me from my own internal issues, but then also like now forever this person is like in debt to me. It's like this weird psychological thing. I don't know, man. It's got a lot of levels to it.
I mean, fuck. It seems like you got a lot of shit on the plate. You know, I mean, to say the least. It seems like you got a lot of shit on the plate, and like almost, you're definitely. I can just tell by talking to you, you're not ready to get sober for sure.
Nah.
Like you're not getting sober anytime soon, bro. Like I can kind of get that vibe.
You're wise beyond your years.
I mean, you know, I'm just all my friends. I grew up with a lot of people, and I don't think I think drug addiction is similar no matter how long you've been doing it or how old you are. You know, like I've heard people say the same shit to me that you're saying right now that are half your age. You know,
Right. Well, here's the thing. Here's the reality. Motherfuckers are gonna do drugs until they have no more moves to bust.
Yes.
If you ain't got no more play, if you ain't got somebody you can call that will loan you some bread or this or that, and there's just like that's what made me go to rehab. I had no more moves to bust. My bitch was cutting me off. She was living in Philadelphia. I'm stuck in LA. Da 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 da. You feel me? My parents ain't trying to give me no money. My friends don't want me around.
Yep.
But my brother like, you could go to rehab. I'll pay for you to go to rehab. Like, sounds good to me, brother. It's either that or you feel me. Like, I don't know. You feel me? I'm trying to jack people. I don't know where.
Yeah,
it
I
goes
mean,
from there. Like,
people say you got to hit rock bottom to get sober, and that shit's for real.
well,
Like,
yeah,
you
it's
actually
literally
have to hit rock bottom.
And what does rock bottom look like? You could be rock bottom because I live in a nice apartment, but I'm right near MacArthur Park. I walk outside, I see I'm in zombie land. You know what I mean? Like is that rock bottom for them, or do they feel like they still got a few moves to bust?
Yeah,
Because they still out there doing it.
seems
You know,
like they still got some moves in their heads.
in their heads, whatever that looks like. And the other thing, what I wanted to say earlier, as far as like the being giving thing, it's very bad. And I realize this too. Like, I want to help people, but like someone will tell me that like one of my battle rap homies would be like, yo, I want to do a battle. Can you get me 15 bands to do this battle? And I'll say yes. So now, because I want them to be like, Lush is the man, Lush can help me, even though I have no ability to actually execute
you
that
can't
for
follow
them.
through on that shit.
I can't. So now not only like maybe I got 5 seconds of taking pressure off of them and they feel good for them, but then they're going to be in twice as bad of a predicament when I inevitably can't come through, and they're going to be pissed off at me. And then it's like, so I'm scrambling to try to make all these promises happen, you know? I'm like Santa Claus thinking I got the infinite fucking Christmas basket, but
Yep.
Donner and Blitzen are already on Zans.
Fuck, dude. I mean, we've really dove in very heavily into your drug addiction. I think we've covered like a lot of the bases on that, but I'm really intrigued. Like, you talk a lot about your family and how you're super well off. Like, did your drug addiction ever like fuck up your relationship with your parents?
Oh yeah.
When was like, how early on did it start like straining that relationship?
Well, I would say off rip, but
Okay.
like, yeah, off rip.
They knew like very fast that you were doing drugs?
So here's the stupid ass move that I did with my parents.
Okay.
Okay. And because I got two older brothers who were 12 and 14 years older than me, respectively, essentially, like, they're like cool uncles. They're not even
Yeah.
they're my brothers.
You
I
didn't
love
really
them.
grow up with them at all, yeah.
Yeah. By the time I was 5, they moving out, going to college in different
Yep.
states and all that. You feel me? So, but my oldest brother, he was a drug addict back in the day. And so my parents were fully indoctrinated by rehab culture and AA and addiction. So from the time I'm super young, like I want to say my earliest memory maybe is like 7 or 8 years old. My parents are telling me, you have the gene of a drug addict. You can never get high. If you smoke one joint, you'll be, you feel me, scratching and itching on
So
Skid
addiction
Row.
runs in your family.
Yeah, addiction runs in my family.
That's fucking heavy.
Janet, look, addiction runs in everybody's family. Let's keep it a
Yeah, I mean, I
stack.
got some crackhead ass uncles.
Everybody's
for sure.
got a crackhead uncle.
Yeah.
It's in. There's no DNA strand that doesn't contain
Yep.
a little bit of addiction in there in
Yep.
some capacity.
Just whether yours is enabled or not.
Yeah, yeah, and mine has. I would say there's like a little bit stronger than
Yeah.
usual.
You got 2 of them and they're active.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I got 2 of them hoes. And yeah, like so they were telling me before I even got high, like, you're gonna be an addict, da 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 da. And then of course they're putting me on Ritalin and Adderall and all this shit.
Oh, so
when
you're
I'm-
already fucking exposed to it.
Yeah, super young. I'm like fresh out of diapers and that shit. You
Really?
feel me? Damn near. No, I'm probably like 10 or 11, but
That's
still.
that's so young. That's around the age when I started Adderall too, bro. I can't believe that like doctors were giving us that shit at that
Bruh,
age.
what a
What 12-year-old needs
finesse
a
game.
Adderall 20? Like,
bruh. Like, he can't focus. Let's give
Yeah.
him some crystal meth. You know what I mean?
dude, that
Like,
shit, I swear to God, my heart would be thumping so hard in class. I'd be tweaking.
and not even realizing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I thought it was normal.
Yeah.
Like, that was just the side effect.
Nick's talking a lot during class. He's interrupting. Oh, I can't imagine why. But, yeah, like,
He's cold sweating and he's a little pale. Like,
yeah,
it's normal.
Literally. So, but it started to really affect my relationship with them. I would say. So I say that to say when I first started getting high, and I got caught with weed for the first time, when my parents like found weed in my room, I'm like 13 or whatever. My initial thing was to tell them I'm a drug addict. I'm out of control because I wanted. It was like my way of hoping it would get me out of trouble. Really, my dumb ass could have just been like, yeah, I smoked weed, ground me for the weekend. It'll be straight. You feel me? Like,
Yep.
it's not a big deal.
Yeah,
All
saying
the-
you're a drug addict makes that like 100 times
I was like,
worse.
I need help. I told, this is like how warped, and I'm just trying to manipulate
Yeah.
my parents. And my inclination is just to be dishonest. You know what I mean? I think way before that, I just had that in me to lying is just kind of
Yeah, one of the things that
intrinsic to my being.
I found really interesting that when I was watching a lot of your stuff is you talk about how like you would lie to people about your sobriety a lot and then just be getting fucked up.
Well, yeah.
Does your girl right now know that you relapsed?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah,
she,
yeah,
all right,
yeah.
she knows at least.
Oh, yeah. No, everybody knows. Like, yeah.
Well, especially now that you're talking on here.
Yeah. And like, well, no, fools have seen me fucking get drunk on No Jumper and all
Yeah.
that. But this is by far the most I've actually, like, and there's gonna definitely the No Jumper Reddit just got hit with some Easter eggs during this pod. Christmas.
Enjoy.
Merry Christmas. Yeah.
Shout out to Reddit. So, you know, you kind of were lying to your parents a lot when you were younger. Did your parents ever go like, we're going to throw you out of the fucking house for this shit?
Oh, I mean, yeah. I got arrested for the first time I was 13, just drinking behind the alley, or drinking in an alley behind In-N-Out. And then when I was 16, I got busted. And when I got busted when I was 16, it was super crazy, and it was at a really crazy time because my mom was in Italy. My mom's family's from Italy. So she's taking her mother to visit like the motherland for her last time because my grandma getting old at that time and all that. You feel me?
Yep.
It's like going to be her last trip. So my mom's out there with her mother, and it's just like my dad trying to like hold it down. And like my dad's an amazing guy, but he was like working a lot. So he wasn't really around. So like that summer, it was a summer going into my junior year of high school, I wound up getting busted, and I got busted just tagging. I'm just like catching a spot, but they said vandalism, trespassing, and possession with intent to distribute because I had a few dime bags on me, right? Mm-hmm. So then when I got busted then and I got sent away, that was like, my parents are like, I'm on your ass, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like
shit got serious real quick.
Yeah. And they were like, they knew that pretty much at that point, that deteriorated any real genuine relationship that I had with my parents for years to come because there was no point of being honest to them.
Yep.
There was no point of leveling with them. Mm-hmm. They were trying their best and they had absolutely no control over me whatsoever. Yeah. They kicked me out. Cool. Kicked me out. Bitch, I'm running away.
Yeah,
what
I'm
the fuck?
on the couch with my homies.
Yeah, I've been
lit.
Exactly. Like I dipped when I was 17. You
yep.
feel me? I dipped when I was 17. I had a bitch that was lived in Hollywood on Sunset and Poinsettia. Mm-hmm. You feel me? Like little tweaker ass, hooker ass bitch, you feel me? I'm living on this bitch's couch or in her bed. And yeah, I was outside. My parents were begging me to come home at a certain point because they're like, shit, we don't want our kid to die. You know what I mean? Like, that's literally what it was. Like, but yeah, there was no genuine relationship with my family for years.
How quickly after you started smoking weed and getting in trouble for that, did you start doing like harder shit?
Like harder shit as far as like, we would like whippets and like sipping syrup, like which yeah. by the way was super tame back then. Like the lean, what the fuck is going on? Like first of all, I'll just say it. You guys are all fucking losers. You know what I'm saying? You guys are all fucking losers. You're not even high. Yeah, you get high off that shit, but like, bruh, a brick of lean, a pint of lean was like $280 in 2012.
The good old days.
Yeah, activists.
Yep.
Activists. It was like $350 for AC, $280 for a pint of Tech, and that was overpriced. That was already when it had been commercialized. This right before Justin Bieber got it taken off the market because he posted the case of AC, whatever, on IG. You feel me?
Damn it, Justin Bieber.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Biebs. But yeah, seriously, and that. But like the way fools are now, like. A brick of lean is like $2,500 or 3 bands. Fools are spending hundreds of dollars for a line. Like you're a bitch if you get high off of a line. A 1 ounce of syrup?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
That's facts, actually.
You are all posers. Each and every last one of y'all. You feel me? Like that shit is lame.
There's going to be a lot of angry comments
I'm sorry. Yeah, I get it.
There's going to be probably like 30 dudes with like the pints and the stack of money as their Avi. They're going to come in. They're going to comment. They're going to be like, fuck you. Then they're going to link their Telegram at the bottom.
Totally. And I get it. And I respect the hustle. And, you know, I have sipped syrup this year. And it is a great, not to like encourage the youth, but
I mean, they're going to do it either way, no matter what you say. Like if someone wants to sip lean, they're going to probably doing it right now.
Yeah. But really like the people that are real sippers, for real, if you still like, you know, like the homie Brick, for example, like he's a real sipper. You know what I'm saying? There's real sippers out there. Fools are taking perkies with that shit because promethazine is an opiate potentiator. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yep.
But like, so back to your initial question. Sorry to go on this tangent.
No, you're good.
Shouts to all the really cool, awesome lean sippers. You guys look awesome.
The real sippers, not the posers.
You feel me? Exactly. Not the posers. Shouts to my real sippers because there's a few of y'all out there. With that being said, back then, yeah, it was like a light ass drug, and we weren't even like mixing it with Sprite yet, type shit. You feel me? We're just kissing pink out the bottle. You know what I mean? And like whippets. But I would say it wasn't until I was like 15, started messing with like the coke and ecstasy started popping up and shit like that. But really, after when I was 16 and got sent away, that was like drug summer camp. I learned everything about drugs there. I wanted more. Oh yeah, and I had been messing with the psychs. I first shroomed and acid and shit like that. But after that, when I got home, it was on and cracking.
Dude, whenever you get sent away to those places when you get in trouble, it always has the opposite effect.
Yeah.
Like, it literally never fixes it.
100%.
I got thrown out of my my high school and sent to an alternative school, and I was literally just smoking weed and popping Zans at the time. And I got to that alternative school, and I started doing fucking everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we were passing out off Zans in the bathroom and shit in gym class, too. Like, it was bad.
And
you
you're
know?
like, you're not even the worst kid there.
No,
I
I was very tame, dude.
Yeah.
Like, me and my friends were doing everything, dude. Absolutely everything. We'd show up to school still tripping off acid from the night before and then, like, redose at lunch. Like, it was bad. But I was a pretty well behaved for that context. And I feel like if I didn't get sent off to any of those programs, I probably would have just kind of, like, slowed down and like gone to college still, maybe.
Right.
You know? Who knows? Did you like finish school, or what's your education level?
I finished high school.
Nice. That's
I
further than
finished
me.
high school. Oh, for real?
I dropped out. Yeah.
Okay.
I did.
You even got the GED? You're not.
I did. My PO made me get a GED, so I did get a GED.
So it counts. Count it.
I technically, yeah, I guess that counts. I dropped out literally the second day of my senior year, which was like the stupidest time to drop out. You know, I was almost done.
So I got expelled from private school. I got expelled from public school. I got expelled from continuation school, and then I graduated from charter school.
Nice.
And I was supposed to go to college. Like, my mom was super hyper vigilant about me, you know, filling out all these applications, and I got accepted to a lot of I did good on my SATs. I always tested pretty well, you know what I'm saying? And I was supposed to go to like a liberal arts school in the East Coast, and I'm really glad I didn't, because it would have turned out a fucking mark. Like, if y'all think I'm a buster now, like, I would have been 100 times worse. Like,
Same guy, just plus a liberal arts degree.
yeah, exactly. I would have been bald, but like with a ponytail in the end, and like. But my thoughts were, before I went to the school, I was like, damn, 70% females. Okay, and all the dudes there are fucking lame. Like, all I have to do is like be vocal about the fact that like I have testicles.
Yep.
And I'm gonna be fucking.
Dude, that's why we were up in the cooking classes in high school. We had a kitchen at our school.
You feel me?
We had
Like,
one cooking class, and it was all the baddies in that shit.
yeah, exactly.
Ooh.
Like, I would have been fucking Big Dick Cheney in that motherfucker. You feel me? Like, I was like, because I know and I'm from LA. All these fucking lames from their little towns are gonna be there. Like, hey, Brooke, I wrote you this poem, and I'm gonna be like, hey, Brooke, he's a pseudo intellectual. Come over here and dome me up. You feel me? In the name of Jean-Luc Godard, who say something like, make some obscure reference. You feel
some
me?
real poetic semen shit.
Yeah.
You know?
So I figured that would be a great look, but I'm glad I didn't go there. Instead, I wound up deferring as long as I could, but went to treatment when I was 18, and that led me in a string of went to treatment. Instead of going to treatment, went to an aftercare facility that they like mandated I go to. Plus, there's a bitch there that I was fucking with, so I was like, hell yeah, you feel me? Got kicked out of there for fucking with the bitch, and they sent me to like a hardcore aftercare facility, and then dipped from there, moved in with another chick. We're living in motels, selling acid and tweak, and I eventually wind up, by the grace of God, back in treatment. And then I moved to the Bay Area and to like pursue my dreams of being an independent artist. And
You know it's
that's
bad
was
when you're in the
19.
motels, bro.
Oh, the
That's when you know
motels.
it's bad.
Whew.
I lived at the Red Roof Inn multiple times. That shit held me down. But
So there's
that's
this
bad.
spot. So we're in a town called Prescott, Arizona, which is like a mountain town in northern AZ, kind of like close-ish to the Grand Canyon, I want to say. And it's like it's kind of close-ish to Tucson as well, I believe. But it's submerged in mountains. Like you hear Arizona, you think like cacti and deserts.
Yup.
Like this is like. It looked like Colorado. You feel
that
me?
sounds
Like,
sick.
yeah. It's pretty, but it's kind of like a tweaky little, like old timey Americana town with nothing going on.
Yep.
And so, but except for there's these two little rehabs there. There's one that's all men, and then there's like the female version of it. And you're not allowed to talk to the girls, but at the AA meetings, you're kind of allowed to interact. So I meet one of the girls, like we look at each other, we see we have the same disease, you feel me? We have the same, like, we're not going to be soulmates, we're going to be scar mates. Instantly, we're like, I'm like, all right, bitch, let's run away. So we run off. She got like a little money on her credit cards, whatever. We like get. So there's a spot called the Mile High Motel and another one called the Skyline Motel, and they gave us monthly rates. So we're like moving in. They had little kitchenettes in there.
See, as someone who travels a lot, that's how I decide where not to stay. If they offer a monthly rate, I'm not booking a night.
All biz ad, yeah. And that shit was like the Mile High Motel was straight up. That shit was like the fucking projects, bro.
Yeah.
It was so janky that so the people next to us, they were all trapping. The fool directly across from us, he was on the run for that fool's probably doing a life sentence now because he was on the run for multiple murders and all kinds of crazy shit. And at first, me and my bitch were like keeping to ourselves, but then one day, like I heard the dude across the way, he was playing Biggie Smalls. You feel me? Like he was slapping a Biggie Smalls song. And I looked and I go like this to him. I'm like, yeah. And he thought that I was telling him like, turn that shit down. Mm-hmm. So he's kind of like mugging me. And I walk up to him and I'm like, nah, fool. I was saying like, yo, that's dope. You slapping some hip hop, turn it up. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden I'm best friends with this murder suspect.
Oh, shit. So you've talked about like, so many fucking rehab stints. How many times have you been to rehab total? You don't even know off top.
Yeah, I can't tell you. I can't give you an exact number.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's like 11 or 12.
We're in the double digits.
Yeah, we're double digits.
Bro, that's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
That costs a fuckload. Rehab is not cheap.
No, it's not. And like insurance will like
they'll pay for it, but still,
yeah. Like
you're gonna owe a lot.
Yeah, like for sure. For sure, several children could have been put through university.
A million%. A million percent. A good university, too.
Yeah,
like, not some bullshit.
Yeah, several kids. You could have... The whole entire USC backfield.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Probably could have been.
One of the things that one of my counselors when I was in rehab told me that always stuck with me, and it was probably it's funny, this is the only thing that stuck with me from rehab, nothing else. He was talking about like dating girls in rehab because when I was in, there was a girl that like I was kind of eyeing up a little bit. He told me never fish from a sick pond, and he was like, "Yeah, you can't fuck any of these girls."
He's tripping. You have to fish from a sick pond. What do you mean?
He's right. He's right though.
You have to get pussy in rehab, bro.
Okay, well listen,
you're not doing it right.
The only rehab that I got sent to, I was in the psych ward twice. I got 5150'd, and then I went to a residential facility the second time. The first time I was too young and like. I guess just not hardcore enough for residential, so they let my ass out. And then I fucking went hard immediately. But the second time, they sent me to this facility where we were split by gender. So, like, the only interaction we got with the girls was if you were still in school, they'd have school with the girls. But I dropped out already, so I didn't get that. So it was only passing
I'm going to school. I think I need to take home ec.
They wouldn't let my ass because I already dropped out. It was only if, like... You were still. They had to like give your schoolwork to wherever you were going back home, so you wouldn't like get kicked out, so you could still graduate on time. So the only other time was in gym, and like that for me that was bad, dude. They're all moving, dude. I get to see some ass and titties moving finally, bro.
Yeah.
When I remember, dude, the night the Victoria's Secret show came on, we were in that bitch, dude. TV was on, we were glued to it. Like,
hell yeah,
it was serious. But my counselor told me never fish from a sick pond, And all the girls I've ever dated that had gone to rehab or like gone to an outpatient with me or like any of that were a nightmare, dude. It's true. Like,
they're the best.
Well, yeah, they are. Yeah, in some contexts,
Crazy pussy hit different.
It does, and it's amazing while you're in the moment. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Meth pussy's great. I'm not gonna lie. I've fucked a meth head before, and like it's cool and everything. But like
straight demons.
Yeah, I would never do it again, personally. I could see you didn't agree with that.
not for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, not for everybody. But look, I'll say this. Like, you're absolutely right. And I just realized that I'm like literally trying to undo the one piece of sound advice that you got in treatment that you're like, this is the only thing that resonated to me. And I'm like, no, fish from the sick pond.
Get in there,
pollute.
Dude.
Take a clean pond.
Fishing rods.
Pollute it. Yeah. Just put a stick of dynamite in that motherfucker. Watch them float to the surface. Like, and it's my inclination. I can't help myself. If there's bitches around, and that's why I actually think the last rehab did good, because there's no girls there. It was all dudes.
You can't have distractions. You just got to lock in.
I am going to fall in love with you if you're a girl in rehab with me.
I mean, I think those emotions you go through when you're sober too, like you don't feel those emotions for a long time, you know? So like when you're locked in there and you can't get high or anything, like, well, you can't get high in a lot of rehabs actually, but you know, you're locked in there. Usually you can't get high. All that shit's going through your head. It's like, damn, dude, this chick looked at me earlier today. Like, I might marry her. You
right?
know?
No, like literally, bro. Like, it'll go. Like, I go from in my everyday life society feeling like, you know, I look like Dave Blunts to like, shouts at my boy Dave Blunts. No diss. I'm just saying that's like how I feel about, you know what I mean? And then like all of a sudden, I'm in treatment and I'm like 1999 Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yep.
Like why
You're the man.
Yeah,
you got the Rizz. You're walking in there.
Yeah, for some, my Rehab Rizz is on 1,000,000, bro. Like I am.
That's the only thing to focus on in there. So you got that shit on lock.
But and I think because I'm savvy and I've been in enough group therapies and I can identify these bitches' demons as soon as I see them. Like I'm like I know how to manipulate it. Like this predatory thing kicks in my head, and I know my Rizz is immaculate in rehab.
As soon as she starts talking about trauma and group therapy, you're on that the moment
I'm beating
you walk
off.
out. Yeah.
Like the cold thing is, so before I got to the actual rehab, when I'm in detox, they sent me to a detox, and my ex, you'll enjoy this, I damn near fell in love with a bitch during the week I'm in detox. You feel me? Yeah. No, like we were getting really close. She cried when I left. She's like, it was like so intense.
Can't fall for those crocodile tears, man.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Lauren. You were dope. And the cold part about her was when I went to rehab, we wound up going to an AA meeting in the town, and like she, I guess, was in some other like rehab, and they were there, and the bitch would not make eye contact with me. It was like the therapist or the counselors told her like, he's toxic, stay away from him, to the point all the other people that were there, all the other chicks are like, oh, Nick, what's up? Good to see you. This bitch would not, and I'm just like,
no.
You feel me? She would not break her neck, and I was like, damn, fuck you, Lauren. But
well, you know, Lauren, we hope you're doing better.
Yeah, we do.
You know, we hope you're doing better over here, Lauren. Call him up. Well, wait, you're not single. You're not
no,
single.
Yeah, no, I'm with my bitch now. My bitch will beat Lauren's ass.
Who do you think is the like best fighter out of all the bitches you've had?
Oh, my girlfriend now, by a significant margin.
She's the number one?
Oh, yeah.
What makes that? Like, you're so confident in this.
Oh, bro, because she's a squabbler. Like, she's a squabbler, bro. My Hina's got hands, bro.
Damn.
Manotas, you feel me?
My girl can't fight, dude. She probably fuck my shit up.
It's you know what?
Rock my girl's shit, dude.
No, like I've never been with a girl that's, you know, I've dated girls that are tough, but for show, none of them want my bitch's fade.
Yep.
She'll knock them all out. Quick. Dude, I had to drag my girl out of a cop car last weekend.
Really?
Yeah. Last weekend, because she got in a bar fight with a dude.
Damn.
You feel me? Like,
she win it?
She won.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Good for
I
her.
had to drive to Rancho Cucamonga from being asleep at like 12:20 a.m., which is like an hour drive. And they're like, the police released her to my custody.
You can monetize that if she's out there fighting like that, bro. Like,
bro,
you could easily make a channel for her. And like,
we've talked about and that's the thing. I don't want to encourage like this thing, but what I am trying.
She's already out there fighting.
She is. She is like I was like, hey, there's Dames and Games, Foxy Boxing. You feel me? $300, knock a bitch out. You feel me?
She ever smack you?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. She's for sure. And I will never put hands on.
Yeah,
her.
you just you know, I mean. Sometimes you deserve it, you know. I mean,
I don't even know if I did put hands on her, who would win. Damn near, like.
I mean, yeah, if she's out fucking up dudes at the bar, you might get fucked up.
She's 5'2" in Guatemala, and so I do like my chances. You feel me? But you know what they say, the shorter a Latina is, the more toxic they are.
Some of those tiny people are swole, bro. You ever seen Mighty Mouse fight?
Well, they're closer to hell.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Oh, true.
They're closer to hell. And once you get to like Central America, like where my girl's from, Guatemala, like you know, like these people coming from deep in the jungle and shit like that.
They're serious.
That's some like crazy third world survival tendencies that we are not accustomed to. So basically, I'm a fish in a barrel for her. You feel me? Like she got me. But no, I love my woman, and I'm grateful for her. And we have despite whatever difficulties we have, she's like the greatest thing in the world to me. So I love her, and she's amazing.
Hell yeah, that's beautiful.
She's dope
that's a
as
beautiful
fuck.
thing.
Only one that can put up with my crazy ass.
I mean, yeah, it sounds like she's holding you down, dude. You gotta fucking get sober soon so she stops
do.
getting mad.
Yeah, she be on my helmet about it. For lately, it's been like the habit of the past week, which I fucked up on today, was don't drink before noon.
Oh fuck.
That's like the thing. Don't drink before noon.
12:01, you're good. 12:01,
I'm allowed to, you feel me, get a buzz ball.
We got some liquor in this bitch, bro.
Yeah, let's drink.
You want some liquor? You want to go grab a bottle of Henny?
Yeah.
We got 2 shot glasses in the cabinet above the sink.
Hennessy sounds better
Hennessy,
than
Jaeger. Do we have Grey Goose still? Or is that gone? We got a lot of liquor in this bitch, bro. We stay prepared. I'm not going to lie.
If you have tequila, if not, Henny would be cool.
For sure, no tequila. It makes me so sick.
Okay, there it is.
No, you can drink it. I just don't know.
We're
I never
drinking
have
him
it,
then.
so.
We're drinking him. Fuck it.
All right, fuck it, dude. I got to drive home later. We'll worry about that.
Yeah, we're
when
not
time
going to get
comes.
we don't got to get smacked like
Oh,
that.
I'll
We
get
can-
smacked, dude.
Oh, shit.
We can Uber.
We'll do what we do.
You brought a designated driver.
Yeah.
I don't have one, but like I got Waymo now. I got approved for that, so I can take that shit.
We Gucci then.
You know, you ever take a Waymo?
I have not.
I was thinking of hotboxing one for like a video.
I think they'll shut that motherfucker down.
They probably will, but I want to see how fast.
Yeah, that's a good thing. 'Cause there is like cameras and things like
Are
that.
they gonna be on that shit immediately? Like first hit, they're like, yo, get the fuck out.
I think they might even be on your helmet if you try to fucking hit a blinker.
No shot, they're like that, dude.
I mean, shit.
That's gotta be a pretty lit job to have, though. You're just sitting there watching some guy riding a car.
It's kind of like
you're probably hitting blinkers at the desk.
I feel like that's a very voyeuristic, creepy job to have, too.
Well,
Like,
yeah, but could be worse. You could be the guy who watches like the dressing room camera at like Macy's.
Right.
That guy's stroking it. Like,
And I feel like there's a thin line between these two guys. They're they're essentially the same person.
True. Yeah, I could probably consciously deal with watching people ride in the car without them knowing, though. But like the dressing room's far beyond my line.
Yeah. and then where this leads are the dudes that have live feeds on the dark web of toilet bowls in Japan or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like cameras in public restrooms. Yeah, that's like that's where that rabbit hole leads to.
I don't know how much you want to pour yourself.
The young,
pour too heavy, so.
The young Yadahim. Hey, I ain't above you. I ain't below you. I'm right here with you.
I like that.
Come
Cheers.
on, player. Yes, sir. Cheers.
Ooh. We haven't had some heady since like Neff came on.
Ooh. Oh, shout out to Neff.
That was a great episode, dude. He's a fun guy.
You know Alex, his manager?
Yeah, he came through too.
He's my homeboy.
Ain't nobody cool. That's the homie.
Good dude, bro.
That's a fucking
Real
guy.
good dude.
Shout out Alex. Shout out Neff.
Yeah.
Go tune into their music. So, we don't need those. We're okay. So you've been in a rehab like in the double digits.
Yeah.
What's your by far worst rehab that you went to? Do you have one?
Ooh, yeah, we could talk about
What is the shittiest rehab you got sent to?
So, I mean, there's a notoriously shitty rehab in LA.
Okay.
Tarzana Recovery Center. There's Tarzana Recovery Center, Pasadena Recovery Center. These are pretty much like your roommate is probably going to be smoking blues in the corner. You feel
God.
me? Like, it's all bad. Everyone's fighting a case. The absolute worst. I want to give a shout out to the Prescott House in Prescott, Arizona.
Okay.
That I AWOL'd from when I wound up moving into the Mile High Motel.
That's one of the things I was going to ask you, so I'm so glad you just said that.
Yeah.
I used to plot to run away from rehab like 5 times a week, dude.
Oh, bro, like I was literally like, it was like Escape from Alcatraz. I had the most intricate strategies.
We had literal maps drawn out. Holy fuck. I went to a place called Hazelden Betty Ford.
Oh, I know Hazelton,
dude,
Minnesota.
Yeah, super bougie, bro. Super
That's a
bougie.
nice rehab.
Very nice
I
rehab.
almost went there. I did the intake process and everything. Didn't go.
It was pretty lit, actually,
Yeah.
because they let us go on walks and we could climb the fence and go buy cigarettes.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
it's fucking lit.
Hazelton's dope.
So we, I got sent up to Hazelden in Minnesota. And me and my roommates, we'd go on the walks because once they had this ranking system where like you had to behave and then you could rank up and they let you go outside. So we ranked up enough to go outside and go on these walks. And we literally had this notebook where we like mapped the whole fucking property. And we were like, all right, bro, here's where we got to go to like get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
One of us has gone to the gas station to buy cigarettes before and made it back. So we know like we have a time window usually where we're good. And like the way they would track it is like they'd send groups out in bursts and then like time when you came back. And if you weren't back within like a 1 or 2 minute time window, you're all in trouble.
Now
like, you're all getting searched.
Now you probably got to wear like some
yeah,
little
they probably
thing that
actually
has
just
you,
track you now.
Yeah.
You know? But at this point, like it was still just kind of a little trust in there. It's like we were plotting every day, like, yo, how the fuck do we get out of here, dude? And we never went for it.
Yeah, and that's like a chill spot. Like so, but the worst spot, this spot in Arizona, Prescott House, and it was bad because it's like I talked about this on Soft White Underbelly. It's like I refer to as hardcore pound you in the ass recovery.
Oh, that's the worst kind.
Like it's essentially like a military school, but with rehab, and you're not allowed to talk to girls. You're not even allowed to talk to them on the phone. You're not allowed to jerk off. If you get caught
that's in the rules?
It's in the rules, and you're supposed to tell on people for jerking off.
What?
And if you don't
That's the only release we have in that
bro,
bitch,
if you
bro.
don't tell on them for jerking off, you can get in trouble for that. And there's this thing called Circle every morning, which is essentially like we all snitch on each other.
Oh, we had that too.
Yeah, no, that's a very common thing.
Yeah. Yep.
10-15.
Accountability.
Yeah,
like
accountability.
Hold each other accountable.
And it'd be like, Nick, when your Santa hat tilts to the left, I feel fear and anger. You know what I'm saying? That's the format.
That's how.
It's
when you do this, I
feel.
Dude, holy fuck! You just opened a memory I didn't know I had.
I can't. And you can't do it like You can't do it like Nick. That Santa hat makes me mad.
Yeah.
No. It's not the Santa hat
Nick,
making
when you
me
wear
mad.
the Santa hat, I feel angry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I can't even be like, Nick, when you wear a Santa hat, knowing that my grandfather fisted my asshole while wearing a Santa hat. You feel me? Like, I feel like, no, because like you don't know that. You don't know that. By the way, neither of my R.I.P. to my grandfather.
You had to clarify they did
yeah,
not do that.
Yeah. It was only 4 fingers, but I can't. But nah, like so that whole thing. But they would like that's a common thing for treatment centers. But that was like a super high accountability one, and they snitching for jerking off. You feel me? And everything, and it was pretty much everybody there. I was one of the only people that wasn't fighting a case, and this wasn't just a drug rehab. This is a multi-addiction treatment facility. So there's sex addicts there. And if you're, just do the math. You're a sex addict in a facility. What the fuck you think you had to do to get there?
You better keep the lights on at night, man.
The best thing you did was you got caught cheating on your bitch and like you're a rich ass fool and your marriage is in jeopardy. So I have a sex addiction and maybe if I go to rehab, Jesus will cure me.
Yep.
You might cure this penis, this evil boner that I got, and I'll go back to Marcy and save this dick only for her.
And love her forever.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, Marcy. Most of the dudes there were doing some foul shit and had some gnarly ass cases and were, you feel me?
Yep.
Certified, lover boy, certified. What? Fill it in the blank. You feel me? Like, yeah. So I'm in there with a bunch of J-Cats. You feel me? Like, fools that literally there's dudes there that were, were sleeping with, had slept with underage women, people that had molested people, like all kinds of gnarly shit. And I'm 18 years old, fresh off a fucking ecstasy addiction. And I just want to get some damn pussy because I can't do drugs anymore. But now they're saying I'm a sex addict. And they're giving me the same, like, treatment protocol as this 88-year-old dude that was touching on his granddaughter. You know what I mean? Like, it was so fucking warped. That is the worst. Like, Prescott House K.
Fuck the Prescott House.
Yeah, like, Prescott House K. And I don't know, like, if we need to, like put a bleep there.
No, we don't.
If that's not like, I don't, if there's any.
Fuck the Prescott House, dude.
Yeah, fuck them with it.
Listen, I'm really not a fan of the rehab industry. We could probably go on for hours about how fucked up that shit is. Dude.
Oh, yeah.
They just keep you there to milk your insurance money. That's all they do.
Not only that, let me tell you another aspect of it, which a lot of people might not be up on it. If you're not up on this, you'll for sure be like, oh, this makes total sense right away. What about the people that refer you to treatment centers? The referral people, right? That's a whole industry, and it targets affluent families.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
They'll know how much you can afford, and they'll place you accordingly.
Well, so for example, there's by marriage a family member. I'm not going to put him on blast. By marriage family member who his job was essentially getting people into treatment centers. And he'd been sober for many years and all that. Essentially, he's like some dude that's like sleeping on people's houses in the Hamptons. You know what I mean? But like, again, when my family sees this, they're going to be like, ooh, I meant what I said. And I love you, but your pops did some janky shit. I'm sorry. And what your pops did was, so he recommended me to go to this treatment center, but then he recommended me to go to the Prescott House and aftercare facilities that he was recommending me to go to. And he's like part of implementing my treatment plan. He's getting cashed out for.
Yep.
So this dude's
Every
getting
step of the way he's
stupid
making
every
paper.
step
Yep.
of the way. Because every month that I'm there costs a certain amount of money. They're
Then
trying
you get out,
keep
you
me
go to
there for, like,
outpatient. Yeah.
and so and this spot is essentially like a somewhere in between a halfway house and a treatment center, because it's like a house in society. And eventually you like have jobs and you go outside. You could go to like the store. You know what I mean? Like it's not completely isolated. So this, but yeah, bro was getting stupid kickbacks, and that's a huge part, like hand of the corruption of this industry. There's people making a lot of money that are incentivized financially for you to continue to pursue treatment.
Yeah, and it's really fucked up because the only people that are really aware of that are drug addicts through experience, but people don't really seem to listen to drug addicts. You know?
They don't.
Like, if someone who's gone to rehab speaks up and says rehab is fucked, everyone immediately just assumes, oh, they just don't want to get sober.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I wish there was somewhere to see statistics on, like, the success rate of these places, like Prescott
Oh,
House.
I'll tell you what the success rate. There is ways to see, and there's not like a definitive number. But what I will say is this: when you go to treatment, I think it's you have less than a 2% chance of recovery. No, it's less than 1%. And certain places, like the best treatment centers, is like 2%, 2.5 of recovery.
That's, I mean, that's fucking nothing, bro.
Yeah, nothing.
That's fucking nothing.
It essentially does nothing. And like the system is broken. And also let's talk about how antiquated that as well as 12-step programs are in this sense. And I don't want to, there's going to piss people off. There's an awful lot of controversy. But the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous, incredible piece of literature. To this day, one of the greatest selling pieces of literature of all time. Was written by Bill Wilson in 1939. Society was very different in 1939
100%.
than it is right now, to the point where Bill Wilson, and anybody that has researched him can tell you, in the 60s and early 70s, had a psychedelic awakening and decided it was cool to take acid, and was, you know, acid could be a part of recovery and all that. And a lot of people that are like hardcore AA fundamentalists, 12-step, don't want to acknowledge this.
Yeah, they're not reading that part.
Yeah, I don't know if you knew about that or not.
I didn't know.
Yeah, that's a whole thing, the Bill Wilson LSD trajectory. But with that being said, there's certain things in society that were super acceptable back then that are more frowned upon now. Like, for example, what is the difference between coffee, cigarettes, and marijuana? You know what I mean? I would say in Los Angeles, it's more looked down upon to smoke cigarettes. Cigarettes are more highly stigmatized and looked at as negative in society. I catch more dirty looks smoking a cigarette
100%,
than I do a blunt or a joint. 1,000,000% of the times.
Anywhere here.
Anywhere
here. Yep.
Anywhere. But, you know, in the 12-step thing, I don't think that, I just think the standards and the rigidity and the way things, I think society's moved, and I think that recovery kind of needs to be ahead of the curve in that aspect.
There needs to be some sort of updated literature on recovery, but like, how do you, there's going to be some like prophet that's going to come into that industry that's going to completely change the game.
And his name was Goblin.
Damn, I don't know if I want to open a rehab facility, dude. That's a lot of fucking work.
I wanted to.
Really?
I wanted to before I relapsed.
Dude, that seems like a lot of like, it just seems so stressful to work with drug addicts on a day-to-day basis.
I saw one of the homies get rich doing it, and I was like, damn. And that's so janky, right? Like, because, I want to help people.
Yeah.
But would I want to help people? Like,
you will get rich doing it. They all get rich doing it.
Bro, my boy was a straight fucking needle junkie, Skid Row needle junkie, and he's up a couple M's off of his rehab, which is helping hella people.
Really?
It's kind of like a straight dub if you look at it. That's a W across the board.
It
right?
is. I mean, there's also another side of the industry that's really interesting, where there's a lot of these facilities you go to where like everyone's actually doing drugs anyways.
Yeah,
You'll
yeah,
go to
yeah,
a lot
yeah,
of
yeah.
these like these meetings, the AA and NA meetings in particular, bro. Almost all of them, there's someone that's like low key selling drugs to the group or whatever.
100%. Plus, check this out. So there's motherfuckers that you're prescribed Xanax. You're in AA and you're in NA, whatever. You're prescribed Xanax. You get a pass all day because you're prescribed it. Motherfucker, that's my drug of choice.
Yeah.
How you high off my drug of choice?
Right in front of me.
Right in front of me, giving me advice on recovery. Eat all the dicks in a 10-mile radius. Like, come on.
Yeah, fuck off with that shit.
Make that make sense.
We're not taking that seriously.
Make that make sense. So it's like, it's hard when sobriety in and of itself is that term is shrouded in ambiguity and is shrouded in, personal interpretations of what that means,
Personally for me at least, my take on it is like, I think being too strict on yourself makes it impossible almost. Like trying to force yourself into this complete cold turkey lifestyle makes it impossible. For me, if I like tried to do that every day, I would have fucked up, And the first time I did coke after I got sober, I felt so shitty about it. But I realized, like, wait, it's the next day, and I don't want to do it. I didn't do it. And then a week went by, and I realized I forgot I even did it. And then I thought in my head, I was like, damn, I did coke last week. And I didn't do it again ever since. Like, wait. And that was actually a moment for me where I realized, like, wow, I've really actually been able to move past this. Like, I was able to do a line and not completely freak the fuck out, and just blow everything the next week, I remember that night I did it, one of my homies offered, a bag for me to take home, and I said no, and I was like, wow.
That's huge.
I'd
be like,
was
no.
able to do that.
Yeah,
it was really hard, dude. I'm not going to lie. If my girl wasn't there, I probably would have taken it.
Right, yeah.
Thank God she was there.
I can't tell you, and this is one of the most common questions I get. People be like, how do I get sober? I can't tell Goblin how to get sober. I can't tell I could tell you how I got sober.
Can't tell anyone else how to do it.
I could tell you how I got sober. In fact, it'd be really misleading for me to try to tell you or anyone. But what I could do is tell you how I got sober.
Yeah.
And I got sober by getting sent to a fucking treatment center when I had no more moves to bust. Them motherfuckers, I was addicted to Xanax and alcohol. That was what I was strung out. I'm doing a hell of other drugs, but that's what I'm like physically addicted to. They do my intake. They give me a loading dose of Valium, which typically if you're detoxing off of benzos, they're going to give you Valium.
Yep.
And the reason why is because Valium doesn't hit the same, but it has the longest shelf life of any benzodiazepine. So it's going to stay in your system for the longest amount of time. So they gave me a loading dose. I think it was 20 milligrams of Valium. And then the next day, 4 10-milligram doses of Valium, then the next day 3, then 2, then 1, then 0. And through that other time, they're also pumping me full of vitamins. You feel me? Like they're giving me the best food. You know what I mean? Like it was a really good detox facility. And I'm in group therapy and all that shit. So that's how I got sober. It worked.
It's different for everybody, Like there is no...
Oh, then I went to rehab for 4 months.
So... How fast after getting out of rehab, because, you've been so many times, obviously you've relapsed, after getting out. How quickly after you get out would you say you typically relapse?
Oh, okay. Easy question.
Okay.
This was that last time I went to treatment, and I actually did wind up in another outpatient facility during sobriety.
Really?
Like I went to another, people don't, I've never even talked about that. We can get into that for a second, but that last treatment center I went to it was called BRC, great place. Shouts to BRC, where I got sober. They, that's the only time I went where I actually wanted to get clean. I never wanted to be clean before. So normally I'm getting fucked up in some capacity when I'm still in the treatment center. I never get clean. I remember one time they didn't search me thoroughly, and I had there's a little bit of weed in my pocket. Like, hell yeah, I'm finna smoke that motherfucker. Oh shit, the homie's got an Adderall script and he don't want that. He'll slide that motherfucker to me. So I'm never really getting sober. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm already using before. In fact, when I went to that first time when I got locked up and they sent me to the youth deferment program and shit, Anacapa, when I'm 16, the night I got home, I hit my parents' liquor cabinet and took half a sip of fucking Tanqueray. Just for no reason. I didn't even want to. I don't know why I did it to this moment. I don't know why, but it was instinctual. I'm here. Oh, there's some drink. Do. You feel me?
Yep.
Crazy, right? So normally it's like there is no relapse because it's already begun.
Yeah, you're just still rolling.
It's like the only really is just a feigned period of recovery in between, or really it's just like the time I'm killing between I can get high the next time. I never really wanted to get. This is the only time where I was like, all right, fuck it. Let's see what this shit's for real about. Yep. Let's really work these steps. Let me actually fucking take 10 cocks to the face, because that's what it felt like. You know what I mean? Like, this is the lamest shit I've ever done, but fuck it, let's do it.
Yep.
You know?
Sometimes you got to get out of your comfort zone to do that shit, you know?
And I'm grateful that I did. And I've learned an exceptional amount. And I don't know if I would have survived, you know what I mean, if I didn't do that. But, like, again, going back to thinking that some of the methodology and some of the things they teach us as far as recovery being a bit antiquated, like, if I had been smoking weed this whole time, would I have gone back to other drugs? I don't know. Why is weed demonized in recovery to that degree? Because I look at people that are like, if you go to rehab and you have a marijuana addiction, and I'm sorry to say this, you're a fucking bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I know there's people I know that have that, and I'm just a bitch ass person. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone that the only thing they're doing is weed should be going to rehab. Like, I'm not gonna lie, you're taking a bed from someone that's about to die.
Yeah, but these motherfuckers be there. They be there.
Yeah, I know. Dude, one of my roommates was literally there. He took Xanax one time, and otherwise he just smoked weed every day. Yeah. I was like, dude, how are you in the same room as me? Like, the kid next to me smokes meth and, like, just lost custody of his little sister.
Right.
Right? And, like, my other roommate just got kicked out and sent to Wilderness because he's smoking meth in here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, ambition.
Why are you here?
Yeah, and that's typically like a teenager thing, I would say more. But even I know fully grown adults. There's people that are like outspoken and popular, notable figures in the recovery community, and their addiction was marijuana. You feel me? Like, I damn near want to, like,
they're LARPing for some money,
dude. It's cosplay.
They're LARPing. They're cosplaying, dude.
LARPing.
They want some fucking paper off that shit, dude. Yeah, that bothers me a lot, dude. Because, like, weed for me, like, bro, weed saved my life, dude. If I didn't have weed, I'd probably be dead by now. Like, I probably would OD, for sure.
For sure, me too. And I get it, though. Everybody's different, and I don't want to be super judgmental.
Of course,
and I know things hit people different, and you might have whatever your chemically wired, whatever that is, how you turn out the way you do. So I don't want to be judgmental, but you're a bitch if you're,
of course,
for smoking weed.
Weed in particular, if weed is literally your only addiction, it's like, bro, you don't need to go to fucking rehab. No. You know, take a dab
and like, just the way, right? And the way, I'll say that too. The first time if I took a dab right now, I'd be obliterated.
Do you want a dab?
No. Okay. They're like, no, that'll literally, like, it'll ruin the podcast. There'll be no conversation to be had after. I'm like,
okay.
Like,
all right.
Dab is like, dude, I'd rather, like, if I was shrooming right now, it wouldn't affect me as much as being dabbed out.
Really?
I don't know why. I think dabs are crazy and I love them, but like such a high concentration of THC, I don't know if I'm meant to consume that.
I think to be someone who regularly takes dabs and enjoys them, you have to like build up to that.
For sure.
You can't be someone who's not, you have to be a daily heavy fucking smoker.
For sure.
And if you're not a daily heavy smoker, you're not going to like dabs. Because you're going to be sitting there like, damn, I'm tweaking, I'm lightheaded, and I might pass out.
Bro, so like there was, the last time I took, second to last time I took a gnarly ass dab, and it was one of the first times I had since I started getting fucked up again, was earlier this year. And I was about to do a podcast, and I go there, and there's some homies there, and they got a dab rig. And I'm already drunk, I'm faded, I think I've been doing blow, whatever. I'm just like turned up. I'm like the homies, and I don't realize that these are like real dab heads. Like this is what they do. They waxed out the game, you feel me? And I'm like, let me get a dab, da-da-da. And this fool puts a booger, you feel me, like an elephant-sized booger on the thing. And I didn't. By the way, this is like a sativa-ass dab. Like,
so that shit's got you tweaking.
Like, why you do that to me? Why you tell me? Right? No,
might as well just hit the pookie.
You might as well just do meth. You feel me?
Yeah.
But I hit the dab, and it was like a fear to me dab. It was like probably like 0.6, 0.7. It was like a nice little dab, right? And that shit, I know you're Mr. 12 dabs in a row.
I love a good dab.
Yeah.
I love a good dab.
So yeah, that shit hit me, and by the time like I hit it, and then like 2 minutes later, the pod's about to start. As I'm sitting down to do the podcast, like it's a fully like out of body experience.
Yep.
It's fully psychedelic. I am not inside my body. I'm hearing the people. It's like, and then I start having this like odd paranoid hallucination that, oh my God, my life is the Truman Show. Everything's on camera. Like, I don't even want to be on camera. And they're talking about, like, they don't see that I'm sick right now. I can barely even talk. And they're talking about, okay, mic check. Mic check. You want a mic check? I'm dying. You want a mic check? How about a pulse check?
It's so funny hearing you talk about how the dabs fuck you up and it's almost a psychedelic experience, because for me, that was like the only reason I got sober. I would literally get so high that it would feel like I was off opiates. Like, I'd be like, damn, bro, I'm on the cloud right now. I can't feel my limbs. Like, it feels like I just popped a hydro or some shit, maybe 10 of them. Like, this is incredible. And I just started dabbing so fucking hard. And I remember when I first got sober, it was right around when I first started coming out here to shoot podcasts. I was like paying for all my own flights still, and I was like coming out here to go on these shows to building shit up. And I would buy a fuckload of hash and fly home with it every single trip, because like LAX is the best airport in the world, dude. I could probably put a kilo in my backpack.
Oh
today
yeah,
and
they
fly
don't
out,
give a
dude.
fuck.
They don't give a shit.
Besides
over
Oakland
there.
Airport, shouts to Oakland. They're even better.
Really?
Yeah, they don't.
Oh, I mean, yeah, it's in Oakland, bro.
Yeah,
the whole
yeah.
city doesn't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah, at
but
all.
like, fuck, dude. LAX, yeah, they're really clutch. And I used to fly home with like so much of that shit because none of the stuff I could get back home in Illinois got me high enough.
Right.
All the shit out here, though, dude, I take pilgrimages damn near.
Oh yeah, no, that's the thing. That's the thing. And So, what's your experience with opiates?
Opiates were one of the categories I didn't fuck with that much. Like,
Yeah,
I've tried
you
them.
don't.
I've done oxys, I've done hydros, I've done Norcos, I've done perks, I've done the whole shebang. But like, I never went through a phase of like, oh, I really like these. But for me, I was like a poly addict up until I started doing coke.
Okay.
So before coke, I just knew that I didn't like being sober. Like, I didn't really know what my drug of choice was. I smoked a ton of weed. I'd take a bunch of Xans. I'd take Molly all the time. And then I started doing cocaine. And when I was younger in high school, I did a couple, like I tried it, but I couldn't afford it. So like, I didn't really build a habit.
Right.
But when I dropped out of high school, I remember I broke up with this chick, and like, she broke up with me because like I was going too hard, I was partying too much. And at that point it was still just like, I was popping some Xans, drinking some liquor, nothing super crazy. But we broke up, and I hit up this chick that she wouldn't let me talk to while we were together. And I was like, she would fuck all the coke plugs. So like, I hit her up and I was like, yo, like, whatever coke plug you've been fucking, like, introduce me.
Where he at?
Like,
I want to fuck too.
Where's he at, bro? Like, I'll sit in the cuck chair. Like, bring me through to the hotel room he's sleeping in. And she introduced me to this dude who, thank God, now he's in prison for a long time. Because if he wasn't, I'd be fucked. He's in prison for a terrible crime too. So
You'd still be copping from him though.
for sure. I'm not gonna lie. I honestly, part of my sobriety was like I wanted it, and it was fear, but the other half was complete luck. Like, I moved 3.5 hours away from my hometown, and I had a suspended license for my DUI, so I couldn't drive back up to visit.
Oh, man.
So I was like, all right, I'm isolated, but I was still going on like Alphabet and these deep websites and just ordering shit to my house.
What is Chicago the biggest, like the closest big city to you, or are you closer to St. Louis?
Where I grew up, I was closer to Chicago, and then
Okay.
when I moved away, I was closer to St. Louis.
Okay, and St. Louis isn't actually a big city. People don't know
It's
that.
not very big
actually
at all.
very small.
Yeah, dude.
yeah.
If you go to the
And
airport,
dangerous as a motherfucker.
it's so ghetto there.
Yeah,
dude.
it's
I've been to
St.
St.
Louis
Louis a
janky.
lot. Bro, lock your doors, roll your fucking windows up, don't look at anybody, go to the airport and fly out. Like,
That scene in the movie Vacation is accurate when Chevy Chase and his family
Yes.
drove through. It's very accurate. And I got hella homies, so shouts to the Lou. But I know
it's a shithole, dude.
It is activated
it
out
is
there.
a fucking shithole, dude. I don't want to be there.
Yeah, no. So okay, that makes a lot of sense. But also, like, I have bad news for you, Goblin.
Okay.
If Coke is your drug of choice,
Okay.
what's gonna happen if you go back to doing that shit? You eventually gonna be a tweaker, my boy.
Oh, I know.
All right,
Oh, I'm fully
okay.
aware. I'm
You know
fully
that,
aware,
right?
dude? I'm fully aware.
That's where this
Cocaine
goes.
Is a fast, very vertical ramp.
Yeah.
Like you start out like this. Here's where my first bump was. Boom. We're fucking out of here.
Did you do Scante before?
What was that?
Meth. Have you done meth before?
No, not
You've
knowingly at least.
Okay, yeah, for sure you did.
For sure, I've
in the
super-
blow, because that shit is all cut
Yes.
with that shit.
Just not knowingly.
And you've done ecstasy, I assume.
Yeah. I
Okay,
used to take a
so-
fuckload of Molly. I would do coke and Molly lines.
Yeah,
So
the
I
best.
crush up my fucking. I get like a gram rock for my homie. I crush that shit up with a gram of coke, and I just leave it in there. And like I didn't know anything about like how I was supposed to ratio it or anything. So I was doing like 50-50 Coke and Molly.
Oh,
lines.
you were
and
you're
like
rolling.
I was shopping normal size lines. So I'm sitting there, bro, my heart's thumping out of my chest, dude. And it was every day. And I went through this period where I like completely depleted any of the serotonin I had left in my brain. Like I wanted to shoot myself in the head for like probably a year after I got sober because the Molly and Coke lines were like the final stage of my addiction. Like that was like right before I got sober. So when I got sober, I was like, damn, dude, this sucks. Like, how does anyone do this? Like I'd jump off a parking garage. You know?
And that's essentially, so you're essentially doing like spicy meth.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Pretty much, yeah. You know, but I mean, thank God I stopped doing that shit. That shit is bad.
It really is, and like that's why like that's the scariest thing about this conversation as far as me looking at you is how young you are, and that scares me. You know what I mean,
bro?
Like,
I mean, honestly, like being straight up, you probably should be scared, dude. Like you're at I think a pretty pivotal point where like. You're growing up, you're getting older, bro, and like you got to decide like
I'm old, I'm washed.
Yeah, but you're lucky that like you're not having like chronic health issues off this shit. Like sure, maybe it fucked up your teeth, maybe you got this issue with like the nerve issue, but like you could be dead. You could have a heart attack if you keep doing uppers and shit, especially. You know, you're at a pivotal point where it's like, all right, you get sober soon and you could maybe reverse a lot of those effects, but also according to, what I've read and stuff online, at least, I mean, I'm not a fucking doctor. It starts getting spooky once you've been doing it as long as you have. You know,
it
starts
already
getting bad, bro.
I'm scared to even really go to doctors.
Me too, dude. It took me a long time to actually go to the doctor after I got sober.
I hate
3
that
years,
shit,
dude.
bro.
I was terrified, bro. Holy fuck.
I was so scared when they did blood work of me in rehab. I was like, oh, I have AIDS for sure, gonna die. And luckily, I didn't have, any disease. I was like, oh, I have no idea what this is gonna say.
Yeah, my shit was bad. I remember for a while, I used to I couldn't shower very hot because it would get too moist and my nose would just start pouring.
Yeah.
Both nostrils just bleeding. And then I'd cough up blood too, probably as a side effect of the nosebleeds every fucking day.
They're all connected.
Yeah, and I was sitting there like, damn, bro, I think I might have lung cancer. Like,
right?
on Google, type in cough up blood. First was all lung cancer. I'm like, all right, dude, well, why go to the doctor now? I'm going to be dead.
Of course, they're going to catastrophize the first thing. AIDS.
Yeah, the third thing's what it really is. But the first thing, and I'm like, yo. It's over.
You know what made me? Cause it's crazy talking about blow because I had a crazy cocaine addiction for a while, and I dabbled in selling it here and there, but there was a year period of time between 2015 and 16 where I was like trapping hard, and I had a lot of blow, and I was selling a lot of blow right around here where we at right now. These streets right here, and I kind of like.
And you're able to do that while you were using it?
Well, that just made it like more fun. It was like it's there.
I could never do that
because
dude.
look,
I tried.
Because here's the thing, I'm selling bigger boy shit. Not like big. I'm selling like I might sell you like a zip, or I might sell you like a 4 and a baby, or like a 9-piece. But I'm also selling grams. Well, you want a half gram? Come through. Oh, you want some Norcos or what? I'm trapping everything. You feel me? Like my spot was the straight trap, and it was a nice ass spot. I had the whole block on lock. I'm paying off neighbors, giving them plants and all this. You know what I mean? Like I was really a boy. I was really a boy out there and was feeling myself. But like, of course, like a bad bitch come through. She's like just buys an 8-ball. She wants to bust down some lines. You don't think I'm finna do that? Shorty. Oh yeah, and then she finna fucking strip whatever. You know what I mean? Like, of course I'm doing it with them. Of course, and it got to the point. Once I stopped, I'm still doing it. And I copped my last, because, I got in a little bit of trouble. And then I copped one more zip, or I got it fronted. And that last zip that I got, I was supposed to trap that. Spent the next couple month putting it up my nose.
No.
Yeah, the whole thing. So I did 7 grams in one day.
How'd you pay it back?
7. Oh, I want to flu flamming this or that, getting we sold a laptop, you know what I mean? Like I got the money to pay it off, but my life's a perpetual cycle of debt and robbing Peter to pay Paul, and it's been like that my whole life. So
that's another whole side of this that we haven't really touched on yet, because bro, my credit score is still shot, and I'm still in debt.
Yeah,
and literally, for me at least, the day I turned 18, I applied for every credit card under the sun, bro, because when I was younger, my mom put me as like a pre-approved user on one of hers.
Smart.
So my credit was like 750, bro. So I jumped in that bitch. Dude, they gave my ass $15,000 in credit at the age of 18, fresh. I had 3 cards. I had an 8K Wells Fargo, I had a 3K Amex, and I had a 2K Capital One. So I had like just under 15 racks.
Bro, I would feel like a millionaire.
I did,
Yeah.
dude. I was doing everything, bro.
Yeah.
I was buying all my homies' bags. I was like, bro, you want part of this 8-ball, dude? Your grams for free, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You know, any of the hoes could have got it, bro.
Bro, you sniffing for free, baby.
Yo, she could have been a 7 out of 10 at this point, a 6 even, dude. You're getting a bag, shorty. Like, my credit's good. We'll worry about it when the time comes. You know, so
Right.
I maxed out all my shit. And the way I did it, because, like, obviously I'm not swiping the card with the plug, is PayPal used to not, like, verify your account. So I had 2 PayPal accounts. So I'd send money to myself on, like, a burner account, and then I'd transfer it to, like, this fucking, like, bullshit-ass bank account that I'd made for myself. That was, like, it was real info, but it wasn't, like, my main bank account. So just in case, like, you know, they could close that account. I don't care about that shit. And then I'd go to the ATM and pull all that money out. And because it was like a transaction between 2 PayPal accounts, it wasn't a cash advance.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was able to, like, instead of only pulling out the little bit that let you get in cash, I was able to fully max these fucking cards out.
I was
straight
doing
up
the
buying
same
low.
thing. I had jacked credit cards
Yup.
and put it on my PayPal, and when you
Yup.
send the homie like
PayPal used to be the method. dude.
Yeah,
They
it
fixed
was
that
the
shit.
method.
That shit was incredible. You literally could sign up as John Doe and put your
Mm-hmm.
address as like 123 Fuck Street, bro.
Yeah.
And immediately you're just like, all right, dude, you can receive $5,000.
right, right.
shit
Now
was
you gotta send your
amazing.
ID. Now I don't even use PayPal no more.
You
'cause
can't
they're-
even get a single payment without submitting your ID. Like
Yeah,
when I recently got banned because someone a fucking sponsor chargebacked me for a payment. Which is a
Oh,
whole
that
different thing.
shit. Yeah.
I made a new account, bro. Before I could literally even like activate the account, I had to put my social in.
Yeah.
It's not the same anymore.
Yeah,
it's
nah.
not the same anymore.
Nah, yeah, that's insane. Having that much access at that
Oh, it
age
fucked
and
me
shit.
up.
Yeah.
dude. If I didn't have that money, I probably wouldn't have been as bad as I was. But
No,
like
yeah.
13K all to the plug, that boy was eating. I know that much.
That boy was eating. Yeah.
So, how bad are your financial issues off, because of your addiction? Because you talk about it, pretty openly.
It's pretty scandalous right now. If people knew the full extent of like what
I mean, you don't have to spill the
Oh,
full
no,
beans,
I
but
don't-
like,
I'll
however
talk
much you
about
want
it.
to share. I'm intrigued because like this is important for people to hear too. Like, a lot of people look at people, who are drug addicts. They might look at someone like me while I was in addiction, or look at someone like you and be like, oh, he's on this big show on YouTube. He must have all this money. He's doing it.
Yeah.
He's supporting himself, and
Right.
it's really like. When you're an addict, the more money you get, the more drugs you do. The more you're going to
100%.
spend on that shit, bro. It doesn't matter how much you make.
Yeah, exactly. It just raises the ceiling for whatever bullshit you can get into.
Yep.
And stuff like that. But beyond that, I just I've just done so much and like at this point, like the debt is just synonymous with my lifestyle.
Me too.
The bags you see under my eyes, the white you see trying to force its way through my beard, it's not because of the drugs. It's because of the stress. The drugs,
real, dude.
Yeah, and I'm doing the drugs because I'm stressed out about this fucking debt and all the phone
It's
calls.
always a cycle, bro. It all comes full circle.
Literally, like I have PTSD from the sound of my phone ringing. You know what I'm saying? And it came back from the dealing dope thing. You know what I mean? Like the sound of, especially if it's the trap phone ringtone from the old Verizon trap. That shit like strikes fear in my
Your heart's skipping a beat.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, and it wasn't only because like when I'm fucked up, I'll agree to things or make up lies it's all about delaying the inevitability. And if I could just delay my fate for another day, like, no, I don't have that 15 bands for you, but I'll have it tomorrow, I promise. As soon as they're like, all right, cool, I have this night to rest and I
can
can
take a
figure
breather.
it out
Yep.
in the morning. And then it's just like the morning is gone. I don't even think about the morning. And then when the morning comes, I wake up and I'm just like consumed by this stress and this fear. And it just feels like somebody's standing on your heart. You know what I mean?
Yep.
With a steel toe boot. And
Yep.
that's pretty much been my existence for a while, bro. I can't tell you the last time I didn't feel that stress. And then like adding to it, being on like a high pressure podcast where that many people are watching and that many people have opinions about like, let's take a shot. You feel me?
Yep.
Like,
Yeah, let's take a fucking. I agree to that.
Salud. Yeah.
Cheers. So,
I'll tell y'all right now, straight up. I'm very open about this. I've been sober for like 3-4 years. My credit score is still 512. Do you know your credit?
My credit's a little higher than that, probably, but not much.
Good shit.
Not much. I think I might be flirting with a sixer.
I want to. By the way, I just broke into the 500s.
I didn't even know it got much lower.
It does. It gets worse.
But that's the thing.
I'll tell you from experience, it gets worse.
But I never had good credit. Do you feel me? I never got a chance to destroy good credit. My shit was like clapped out the gate. I'm overdrawing bank accounts when I'm 18.
Bro, I can't open a normal bank account anymore because when I was in high school, I had a Chase account and went negative $300 overdrawing it. I never paid it back. They banned me. I didn't realize at the time they have some system where all the banks tell each other, like, yo, this guy's broke.
7 years.
Dude, I still can't get a bank account. I went to PNC like a month ago trying to open a new account for myself, and they said no.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, like, come on.
You might. There's two options for you: either a credit union or Chime.
Dude, don't get me. I got a Chime account.
Yeah.
I got Chime. I got Current. I got all the apps.
Yeah,
bro. Are
yeah.
you kidding me?
Yeah.
The only bank that folded for me was Bank of America. That was years ago, though. I don't bank with them anymore.
The cold part is, bro, is that here's the credit shit that pissed me off. Is like I spent hella money building my credit back up, and I got it up to like high sixes at one point.
Such a scam, man.
Bro, and then because I didn't have any more things to pay off, they like reduced my credit.
Yeah, if you don't have debt, then your credit goes down. But if you have too much debt, it goes down.
I'm like, bro,
what the fuck is the formula, dude?
Yeah.
It's a whole scam industry, dude. I went to the car dealership recently, bro, and I literally showed up. I had a good down payment. I needed to finance a little bit. And up until that point, I didn't realize how bad my credit was. Like, I didn't really know. I sat down at this dealership, bro. You know the best APR they offered me?
What?
Take a shot.
15%, something stupid. Like, really?
24.
Shut the fuck up.
I crossed my heart, bro. 20. That's my car. I paid it off now, but that I signed the papers. 24%.
Do they get a cigarette after they fuck you? Do you get a cigarette
No,
after
they
fuck you
fucked
in
me
the ass?
raw and nothing else.
No
they
cigarette.
sent me home, bro. I didn't even get the little mats in my car, like the little welcome home, like, you know.
No welcome home.
None of that. No,
That's
they sold me the
crazy.
car. They said, "Go home, brokey."
Wow.
Yeah, 24%. And I've been sober for years and working on my credit, paying my shit off. Granted, I ignored some of it. You know, I have like a personal vendetta on some of my debts. You know, like I went to the dentist one time and they doubled the price on me, and I was like, "Bet I'll just never pay that." You know.
Sorry, Dr. Giggles. You ain't getting that, homeboy.
Turns out now I owe way more in interest on my car.
Right. What I wanted to say earlier about cocaine, because you were talking about what made you stop doing blow, and what made me stop. Because like I said, I got that last zip, and I'm doing it. And don't get it twisted, I did it till it was gone. And even after I had this thought, I knew that I needed to like at least slow down for real on the blow. And the thought entered my mind, and it was because I was a sniffer, bruh. Like I'm not like a crackhead. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I don't like anything but putting it up my nose.
I've smoked crack before. That shit is.
Me too, just one time.
That shit tasted cool, but it was like mid. Like I wasn't fucking with crack like that.
Yeah, I was.
Like,
you know, honestly, I was pretty surprised that I didn't like it either, because I thought in my head going into it, I was like, dude, I'm probably gonna be a crack addict after this.
Yeah.
And then I smoked it, and I was like, dude, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
Y'all crash out over this?
That shit was not him. Yeah. But what I would do, like my ritual, like if I'm by myself, you know, because if there's a girl there, it's a whole different thing. But actually, it all comes down. It's just masturbation is the only difference. But and then I wound up discovering one of my closest friends pouring while. That's a different story. But I would do like a couple lines, hit both nostrils. Then I would take a bong load with coke on top of the bong load, and then jerk off, rinse, repeat. And that would like go on for hours.
So you've smoked a bong rip of cocaine.
Oh,
How
like
bad
on
is
top
that?
of the weed.
How bad does that taste? Like,
It was tight.
I've done it on a cigarette, but I've never done it like
I
out
like
of a
that
bong.
shit. I like that shit.
Really?
Yeah, I don't even know really what it did, but I just feel like it did something.
You think it was maybe just some placebo effect?
For
You were just
sure,
like,
a lot of.
Oh yeah.
There was a lot of placebo and like maybe a little. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like a slight little, a little glimpse. But I stopped. Like I had this thought because I'm such a sniffer. I could barely get anything up my nose, and like you said, the nosebleeds and all that. You bringing up your nosebleed was the catalyst of this thought. And then as I'm in like the bathroom, trying to like find like a centimeter in my nose, and I was like, oh. A thought came into my head, and it wasn't like I should do this, but this thought came in my head. I said, oh, people put this up their ass too, don't they? They boof this.
Yep,
And
they do.
And the fact that I even thought about that, I was like, oh my God, like I'm contemplating.
I'm in deep right now.
Yeah, I'm subconsciously contemplating butt play. You feel me? Like
Just
this,
to get a little higher.
Yeah, this is too much. Like that's where I'm drawing a line in the sand.
Yep.
And not that I have this like high vibrational moral compass, but that was where I was.
That was
like,
it right there.
Yeah, I was like, I'm thinking about my asshole.
So did you ever have any drugs in particular that you were like, I'm gonna never try that, or were you just down for whatever?
Well, I was definitely like, like when you're a kid, like
Yep.
you don't like cocaine. Kind of sounds like bad
Yep.
when you're a kid, but like.
Of course, when you're a kid, but even in addiction, I mean, did you ever have any limits?
Yeah, like for sure. Like I've never used needles. Like I've
Nice.
never used needles.
I
That's
never did
probably
either.
Why I'm
Hate
alive.
needles. Yep.
I've never used needles. I've done every drug, but I've never used needles. I was never a heroin addict. I've smoked. Like this is what I was gonna ask you too, because you were talking about like you're not like an opiate addict, but you've done oxy. Did that shit make you puke?
Oh, bro, I got fucking disgusted off that shit, and I had the worst shits too.
That's what I'm saying,
bro. I had like, it felt like. I mean, this is gross, yo. If you guys are eating right now, maybe mute this part, bro. It literally every time I took a shit, it felt like I just turned the faucet on.
Yeah.
For like a day straight. Like I sat down, I was like, bro, what came? Like I had to check. Like,
well, cocaine really. What's funny is opiate actually like is the opposite. It makes
Really?
you, opiates make you constipated, bro.
the oxys in particular were the only one that made me shit myself. Every other opiate I didn't have that, but like,
Yeah.
I remember when I was doing oxys, I was
No, but
oh my god.
that comes. You have to be consuming a lot of opiates for it to have that
Mm-hmm.
effect where it makes you constipated. But ask any opiate addict. I encourage y'all in the comments. Like these fools are
Chime
shitting
in.
Shaquille O'Neal's arm out of their asshole, like giant,
just once every 4 days.
long, fucking huge logs. You feel me? Once every week, yeah, and like you'll be.
Oh god.
Yeah. But that's why I was curious. So if you're not like because opiates are the type of thing, if you really have to develop a tolerance, you can't go from popping a Vicodin to
Yeah.
shooting dope. You're gonna
gotta
get
build up
sick
for that
as fuck.
shit. Yeah.
So when people tell me that they were not like opiate people, but they've done harder opiates, I know you for sure were puking. 100%.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm very grateful that I never got like very into the opiates. I think the only reason I didn't is just because I had access to other shit at the time. you
No,
know?
same. I've never been a big. I think look. And I think you can relate to this too. And this might have helped you stay alive longer than you should have.
Yeah.
I am cross addicted than a motherfucker.
100%, bro.
I'll like once I find myself getting too deep in the weeds with the blow, then I might oscillate to opiates or ecstasy for a while.
That's what I would
Like,
do always for years, bro. And I'd always tell myself in my head, I'd be like, wow, I'm I'm doing okay. I just quit cocaine.
I'm Yoda.
Yeah, I didn't quit shit, bro. I'm just barred out every day now. Like nothing
1,000%.
changed. I
This
brought
mi-
some scary today. I'm just gonna tell you.
Yeah. Like,
Like,
wow,
like
how
scary.
scary.
Like,
Like it's fire.
Chris, how scary is the lemon?
It's not my favorite.
Is it sativa?
Yeah.
I don't even want to smoke it if it's sativa.
You don't?
Yeah, fuck sativa. You ain't got no indica?
Can you check the jar that's on my desk right in front of the?
Or Juliet, my boy got.
Oh,
some.
yeah, toss that over.
Yeah. And this might be taboo, and if you say no, that's totally cool. Can I put tobacco in the bong load?
I don't give a fuck, dude.
cool with it?
I don't
Alright,
give a
for
fuck,
sure.
dude. Do it. Smoke whatever. You could literally smoke crack in here right
Fire.
now.
I
Like
just-
I don't care, bro.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Goblin, this is my favorite podcast that I've done in a long fucking time,
I'm really
bro.
enjoying this episode. I think the people are really gonna enjoy what you got to say too.
I can't
You know?
tell you, like, I'm not, bro. This is gonna sound kind of lame, fool. Like, I cried, bro, after you invited me on your podcast.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of. I don't. Should I say I'm honored? I don't know if I should say I'm honored.
You'd be
I mean,
honored in my tears, but
I'm honored that you get emotional being invited on my show.
I legit cried, bro, because like
I was really interested in your story. You know.
and the thing is, like, like I said, I care a lot about No Jumper on my job, and like I just, I try my best to do really good over there and fucking get this shit popping.
Yep.
And like I want to demonstrate value, and like my homie on the podcast is Adam and the homie Brick, and Brick is like super viral all the time, and he's putting numbers up, and he's like, I was like, damn, like this is the biggest look that I've had in a minute. You feel me? Like
This episode's going to do a lot of views.
I think it's going to be dope. And like, even like when I told Adam about it, he was like, oh, that's fucking sick. You're on Goblin's pod? Like, dude, that's dope. You feel me? Like, invite him back to No Jumper. So obviously, if you ever want to come back
Fuck
to No
yeah.
Jumper,
Let's do it.
We would love to have you.
Let's
You
run
feel
it.
me? Yeah.
Let's
you know
do
what
it,
I'm
bro.
saying? Like, so But that right there, like,
Here you go, brother.
Thank you, my guy. I appreciate it. So much.
Here's a lighter.
But I'm not gonna lie, as lame as it sounds, like getting that look, and it was, it's the morning, so I'm like on my little come down and from the Zans and all that. But so I was like feeling a little emo-tastic, but I'm really grateful that you thought of me. And
well, I mean, I think people are gonna love the content and love your story. I think
we're from the same cloth.
100%, 100%. Everyone across the world, that has experience with substance abuse is going to be able to relate to our conversation at the end of the day. Steve. And I've been for a long time. I think you have the very rare trait of being extremely self-aware of your addiction, even while you're active in it. Like, you're very straight up about it.
And and people look at me and they think that I have zero self-awareness, and I know the way I act. Mm-hmm. It would seem like I don't.
Yeah.
I'm well aware of the fucking retard that I am. You feel me? And it's just me.
That's the way it is sometimes, bro. You got to embrace who you are.
Yeah.
You got to fuck with who you are.
Good, bad, and ugly. Like, you're going to get this person. And and I know there's a lot of different elements to who I am. You can't necessarily define me, and that's why when you ask, if you're at the beginning of the pod, when you're like, for someone that's never seen you, how would you describe yourself? That's a terrifying question.
Yeah,
because that means I really have to confront.
You got to think about who you are,
who I am, and who I am, baby. I don't know. You feel me? I'm very confused still.
I mean, it takes a lot of work to discover that. For sure. It takes time too. You gotta have that moment of like. I lost my train of thought.
How are you as self-aware as you are being because look, I'm not going to lie to you, bro. People your age, and I deal with the youth a lot.
Are retarded.
They fucking know. This is the longest conversation I've had with somebody your age where they're not in their phone, bruh. And they're actually.
I think I dropped my phone a while ago. But it's over there.
But you're a very unique person, obviously. You know
I appreciate
what I mean?
that.
But you're I can't categorize your ass. I don't know how anybody would, but how are you able to be interacting in the capacity and as emotionally intelligent as you are, but you're from this fucking generation of devoid robots?
I don't know, bro. I think I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of interesting people. I'm a big talker, I like to talk about whatever, and I think podcasting's definitely helped me, doing a lot of podcasts has trained me in having a good conversation. But even outside of that, it's the way that I'd say I'm emotionally aware of myself in a sense. You can talk to that if you want. The way I'm emotionally aware of myself in a sense and stuff, is really after I got sober, I just had to reflect upon myself a lot, because that was the only way I could be happy with myself. And I realized pretty quickly into my sobriety that if I didn't spend any time thinking about myself and coming to terms with who I was, there's no way I'd stay sober. There's no way I'd be cool with who I was,
You're a fucking dope person, bro. And I think that a lot of people don't understand the extent of it, and I can tell from this convo. Why I really cried too, beyond I'm getting this clouded up look, which whatever, you feel me? Because I've been famous and not for years, you know what I mean? In this little subculture or whatever.
You're pretty well known, bro.
I get recognized occasionally, but the thing is, I knew this was going to be a big emotional release because I don't get to talk about what the fuck is going on for real. And I was like, you don't realize this is a public therapy session, bro.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I mean, I think it's an important conversation between two people who are both drug addicts, And I hope, when we're done with this episode and everything, you take this conversation to heart, I want to see you sober, bro. I want to see you win. You're a cool dude. I fuck with you, I want to see you get sober and win. And honestly, going into this episode, I was under the impression that you were sober. I didn't realize that you were in the current situation that you're in. So it totally changed my mindset and the trajectory of this episode.
I was kind of scared to show you.
I don't care, bro. I don't give a fuck, dude. That's not my business. That's your prerogative, dude. I don't care.
I don't know, but I'm catastrophizing. He wants to talk to me because I'm sober, or maybe maybe I'm gonna come over here. He's gonna want me to smoke DMT. So I didn't know what the fuck. Literally, fool.
I haven't even done DMT yet. I'm saving that one.
Okay.
I'm gonna wait a little longer. The thing. What stopped me from DMT is that releases when I die. So do I really want to blow my last trip like that?
Well,
that's my one-off, bro. That's my
DMT is. It's some other shit, dude.
Yeah.
It's some other shit, dude.
You smoked it?
Yeah.
I don't want to have that experience yet.
And like, I would like see if I was like being cool guy Lush, I'd be like, oh, we need to smoke DMT and do a stream. Fuck no, you feel
Fuck
me?
that
Like,
shit, bro.
yeah.
I'd be out of body tweaking, drooling on myself
That's
for
what I'm
like
saying,
15
like,
minutes,
that's
and then
what I'm
come back and
saying.
end the stream. Like,
Yeah, I don't want 1,000,000%. Like,
Yeah.
like that as a very like personal, spiritual thing. And I've experienced good, bad, and ugly on DMT. It's not like necessarily.
it's not always pretty and like cool shapes and all that shit.
No.
You know, not
No.
at all. Yeah.
No, and like I would say that, you know, I feel like psychedelics being normalized is a beautiful thing, and I love how much, you know what I mean? Like,
It's fucking awesome,
psychedelics
bro.
are accepted in society nowadays. That's great. However, there's a huge drawback to it. You know what I mean? And that's that people that are green as fuck and have no real understanding of what they're getting into are going to wind up having some terrifying experiences.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I've witnessed it firsthand. So many of my friends who like were not ready to take psychedelics and they dropped like a tab of acid or 2 tabs of acid and just freaked the fuck out, you know?
Okay, so let me ask you this.
Okay.
For you, and this is, everybody has a different answer to this question. Do you feel like acid or shrooms is more intense?
Acid. Oh, a million
By a
percent.
significant margin,
bro.
yeah.
I
Okay.
literally, anyone who says shrooms has not taken a good dose of acid.
That's okay.
Like, anyone who says shrooms has genuinely not taken a good dose of acid.
I'm happy to never take LSD for the remainder
Acid
of my
is
life again.
nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will never do it again either.
I don't need
I
to ever
used to
take
eat
acid.
tabs like 3-4 days out of the week. I would trip all the fucking time. I would literally wake up. I'd take half a tab before school. I'd be in the bathroom with my homie Ashton. We'd pop another tab, fucking pop out, be tweaking all the classes. I'd do it every fucking day, every other day.
Biology class
I
on
loved
acid is
it, bro.
amazing.
And then
Yeah,
I got
so
older and I
tight.
did it. I took some fake shit. I had a cardiac arrest. Fucking nearly died in an ambulance.
Was it
right?
just like pure strychnine? Or what the
It was
fuck?
25I, and 25I you can actually OD on. So I took like 2 or 3 tabs of it because I popped one. I was like, this shit's weak, bro. Like this ain't hitting like some acid. So I popped like another like more. I don't remember the amount off top, and I OD'd, and I like started having cardiac arrest, and I was like, I felt like my shit going numb, and something wasn't right. And I called my mom. I remember like I wasn't really talking to my mom at the time, but for some reason I just knew something was up, and I called my mom, and I was like, yo, like, I just wasn't making sense. Like, I literally was just speaking gibberish.
Right.
And she could tell, like, something was up, and she, like, called my dad, because I was at my dad's house, who then came in my room and was like, what the fuck is up with you? And, like, they called an ambulance. That's the only reason that, like, made it through that shit,
Right.
you know? And then since then, I did acid again. I stopped for a few years, and then I started taking it again. I tested these tabs. They came back clean and everything, and they were super fire. And I had the worst trip of my life. I had a terrible trip, like super
What happened?
scary. I was in a hotel room with my girl, and we took like a tab at first. I don't remember the exact doses off top on this one either. But we took like a tab at first, and it didn't hit that hard. Same thing, but this shit was real. You know, we tested it. Took another like... We redosed fat, and I took a giant dab.
Like
I went-
how long after the initial dose?
So waited probably an hour after the initial dose. It was 3 p.m. and we hadn't like gone out yet. We were still-
You wouldn't be peaking yet, but it should have hit you.
Yeah, I should have
Yeah.
felt it. I knew
It
I should have
should have hit
felt
you.
it. I was experienced enough to know like I should have felt this. So I took another like tab and a half or some shit. I took a lot, and I waited a little bit. I felt that. I was like, okay, I'm tripping now, and it was okay. I was coming up. I was like, this is lit. I'm fucking tripping balls. And then I smoked some weed. I took a fat ass dab. Like I had my rig with
This is
me.
making me. My palms are sweating.
I took a
right now.
huge fucking dab, and I immediately everything just snapped. Like everything, my reality broke, bro. All the shapes around me just started like melting into like this mesh. It looked like someone took this wall right next to us and grabbed it and just twisted it just a million times.
I know the mesh.
Completely just destroyed my conception of like where I was, you know? And I'm looking around, and I was in the bathroom. I ended up somehow, and I was laying on the floor. I was like just looking up, and mind you, I'm on like the 35th floor of this like hotel in Chicago, like downtown, right on the lake, like beautiful ass room, and I'm tweaking balls. My girl comes in, she's flipping out because it just hit her at the same time. She just took a dab too.
She's like, what the fuck?
So she
dude?
comes in, she's like, is something wrong? I remember she was like, I think something's wrong.
The worst
And
question
second thing she
ever
said
on
to me-
acid.
No, it got worse. So she said that, and then she said the worst thing, like the actual worst thing. She was like, should we call the police?
Oh, no.
I'm like, what?
The worst thing. No.
Like, what
No,
are you-
shorty.
Like, no, we shouldn't call the police. But also, I'm freaking out. And I'm thinking, like, damn, bro, am I about to die? Like, this is crazy. Like, I've never tripped like this. I freaked out. I remember I brought my PlayStation with me to this hotel.
Yeah.
Right?
Of course, why
I
not?
plugged it up to the TV. I already had it hooked up. Elden Ring had just came out. Bro, I jumped on that shit. I was freaking out. My girl was like screaming, dude. She was literally like
That's so funny that your
screaming.
instinct to soothe yourself
I'm like,
is to play
Elden Ring, bro. I'm
Yeah.
like, yo, PlayStation, Elden Ring. My girl's literally freaking out. Every time I walked towards the TV was close to the balcony, and she thought that if I went to the balcony, I was gonna like die. Like that was just in her
For
head.
sure,
Like
of
she thought,
course.
like if you go to the balcony, you're gonna fall off and
You
die.
probably will.
Like, so I was like, all right, I'm not gonna go there. I'll just play Elden Ring and sit on the bed, you know? So I like turn on the TV. I'm sitting there, bro. I couldn't like conceptualize anything but that game. It was so strange. It was like I was locked into that shit.
But you were literally
It's a
inside it.
it's a very hard game.
Yeah.
I beat like 5 bosses that night, bro. I was slamming shit. Like I couldn't believe it. And it was the only thing, like every time I took my attention off that, I would start panicking. I'd start
Terrifying
like, freaking
reality
out.
hits you.
This feeling of doom would like physically come over me, bro. And I couldn't deal with it. But in the moments of Elden Ring, I was like, this is like where I am. Like, this is where like my spirit is in this PlayStation
Clearly.
right now.
You
Like,
brought it for a reason.
and my girl is like the whole time just tweaking out, and I'm like, yo, just relax. Like,
she has no Elden Ring.
we're playing. Yeah, she has no Elden Ring, but I couldn't even conceptualize that. So
Yeah.
I was just like, yo,
that's
chill
the
out.
thing. That's the craziest thing about drugs.
Yep.
Is how selfish it makes us.
Yeah, 100%.
If we really break it down to its core
Yeah.
component, like you gave no.
the only
fuck
thing that
about
matters at the time when you're high is your high.
your comfort.
And that's it. Like,
Your comfort at
Yes.
that moment. So it totally reminds me. There's this one time, like I have a homie, and he like grew up pretty fucking square.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like Mormon, but he has like these staunch, like Mormonized principles,
Mm-hmm.
which make him like the nicest human being you'll ever encounter, and super giving. And he was a hustler, so bro had money, and he's a little older than me, and he had a certain point in his life where he's like, I've been a motherfucking square.
Mm-hmm.
I've been married to my bitch for hella long. Like, da 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 da. I need to like start turning up. What's up? You feel me?
Yep.
So I brought him down a pretty dark path with, you feel me, cocaine and Xanax and strippers and prostitutes and everything the world has to offer outside of Mormonism.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there was one evening in particular where he was doing a copious amount of cocaine. Or weed,
Okay.
I should say.
it's a good start to the evening.
Yeah, great start to the evening. And his Elden Ring at that moment was PUBG. You feel me?
okay.
So he was like you on the acid in the hotel room, except for he's on blow with the homies,
Slamming shit on PUBG.
just winning.
Drilling.
Yeah. He's King Von, fool. He's just like, you feel me? He cannot miss. Like he's
You know, the endless trap of getting high is when you start playing games while you're fucked up. Bro.
Right.
You will blow so much time and so much of your bag.
no, but
even
here's
realize
the fucked up part, and this is where the selfishness and all that comes in, right? So his wife is hitting him up, like tripping, like, where you at? You were supposed to be home hours ago. He keeps playing her up like, yeah, no, I'm doing some shit. Like, I'll hit you up. Da-da-da-da. Just super nonchalant. She's like, yo, like, one of the kids is like, I think needs to go to the hospital. Something's fucked up. Da-da-da. He's all, shut the fuck up, bitch. Get off my back. Like, I'm telling you, this is the kindest human being in the world. Like, your most tender moment.
Switch flip.
Your most tender moment, you couldn't even conceive of being as sweet as this guy is. You feel me? He's all like, bitch, I'm playing PUBG. Like, shut the fuck up. You take it. Okay, so what's up? Are you going to take him or not, bitch? Like,
That's the way it works, bro.
And obviously, cocaine's a way darker drug than LSD.
Very.
But still, like, in essence, drugs make us selfish.
Extremely selfish. Drugs are bad. You know, drugs are bad. That's what everyone out there should learn from this episode.
It's a cautionary tale. Look at my ass and be like, bruh, you feel me? There's no, we ain't glorifying shit. This shit ain't cool.
True. Yeah, we're not glorifying anything. So I got a couple clips
Run it.
that I got locked in that I just want to run by you. You said you're an open book.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So these literally, when I typed in your name on YouTube, these are some of the first ones that came up.
Yeah, that's right.
The first one is where on No Jumper, Adam confronted you because there was a
You're gonna
meth
lose your
pipe
teeth
in a
again,
video
Lush.
on
Slow
your
down, my boy.
channel.
This is a
Yeah.
screenshot from her most
And
recent
in this video, I'm just going to skip to the part
So this
where the meth pipe is, so everyone can see this real quick.
Shouts to my girlfriend, Germ Free. This is her video, Bittersweet. You feel me? Run it up. As you can see, it deserves way more views. This shit is hot.
It needs
You
some more
feel me?
views. Yeah.
Run it up. She's a dope ass artist. Been one of the hip hop and graffiti legends in LA for a fat minute. Yeah.
So in that video, you said the meth pipe was just for aesthetic.
Yeah. It was like the microphone. There's really
it's
some
low resolution, but it looks slightly used to me.
Well, yeah. If you watch the video close, you could see someone hitting.
Let's hold on. Let's actually.
You could see like I can't tell
Oh wait,
you.
someone's
where,
hitting it. Wait, maybe we shouldn't roll this.
Yeah,
actually.
you can see in the video someone actually.
Okay, we're not going to roll this because we'll lose all our ad revenue.
Yeah,
for
we
that,
ain't trying to
probably.
demonetize.
But that Pookie looks a little used to me.
Yeah. It had been hit. I did not hit the Pookie. Neither did she. Someone else hit the Pookie. But
And that's facts.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was like doing microdosing meth around this time, like I told you earlier. This is
Okay,
like-
so I mean, fuck, you
this
might
is
as
like
well
the
hit
tail-
the shit.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. It's no different. You know what I mean? I was
Yeah.
doing fucking tweak.
Yes.
But I was. It's like, but there are levels. Like there's difference between.
Oh, 100%.
Like
yeah.
the guy outside of 7-Eleven asking you for money for a big gulp, and then he doesn't get the big gulp. You feel me? Like,
Yeah, he's not getting that fucking big goal.
no, like, but there's a difference between him and me. I'm not saying there's a lot of similarities too. So
Yep.
I'm not trying to like act like I'm holier than thou or I'm better than that guy in any capacity. But when people like generalize addicts and put us in categories and be like, oh, they're this or he's that, da 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 da, it's a lot deeper. You feel me? And there's levels. Like you could actually bring me around your family, and I'm not gonna do nothing janky. You feel me? I'm definitely not doing like anything janky to no girls or no kids or nothing like that. If you have a VIN number, a bank account, you feel me, with a PIN number, shit, maybe keep that shit away from me.
Yep.
You feel me? Like, yeah, don't trust me with no motherfucking money. You feel me? Like shit like that. But as an addict, yeah, I might get you. You feel me? Like, and even after this clip is out, you'll still watch this and I can still get you because that's how cold of a finesser I am. You feel me? Like, I am that fucking cold. I'm so fucking cold. My game's so cold, you will never know when I'm running it. You feel me? You will never.
So you could be running game on me right now.
I could, and I already knew you was finna say that. You feel me? Like,
Really?
Yeah. Because that's like the typical, like 100% when, yeah. But like, here's the thing. Like, obviously.
So
that's
you
what-
just revealed it because you've been running game prior to that.
That's what I'm saying. You feel like I probably have been running game.
I'm catching on.
It's so intrinsic to my being, I can't control it. And that's the reality. You feel me? Like,
It's just who you are.
I can mitigate it, but like, yeah, it's who I am. So, like I said, am I gonna like, yeah, you can bring me around your parents. I ain't gonna do nothing janky. I'm actually a really well-spoken, nice kid from a good family. You know what I mean? And I know how to conduct myself in a variety of scenarios. You can bring me to the projects, and I'm not gonna get you jumped. You can bring me to your rich debutante ball, and I'm not gonna get you embarrassed. You feel me? However, don't give me the routing number.
That's a good way to put it. So the next clip we got, there's another one. A lot of people I saw online were talking about this. There's the clip where you were late for No Jumper and Adam got mad at you.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to ask about this clip. I mean, we're not going to like watch the whole thing
No,
or
yeah, it's
anything.
good.
But I just wanted to ask about it. So how often were you late at that point?
Okay, if we're keeping it a stack, I'm the least late. Like,
Really?
Employee not employee, like on camera talent, yeah, most punctual. But maybe Flacco got me.
Okay.
Flacco might be more punctual, debatably. You feel me? And but I'm more punctual. I'm not gonna even throw your guys' names under the bus, but I'm more punctual than all the rest of y'all. And but you know what I'm saying? I'm not 100% punctual. So it's not really about.
So why do you think he
anybody
was on
else.
your ass there then?
Because
if
I
everyone
was
else is
there.
late?
Like he said, he had told me to keep it a stack. He told me right before I like walked. He's like, "Yo, I'm about to like roast." Because both of us, me and my co-host Brick, we was both late. Brick late, more later than me, but Brick also way more cracking than me. So it's like he has more liberty because like he's low key like clouded up. You feel me? Joined it up. So, and I'm not saying he's late because of that.
Yeah.
He's not. You know what I'm saying? He's late because he's on drugs like me. You know what I'm saying? Like, Brick, by the way, would be a great podcast for you at some point to consider. He's an amazing dude.
Fuck yeah.
Not that you'd want like the no jumper fools, but like I'm just saying, like I feel like drug conversations with Brick.
I'm always down for a good drug conversation.
Yeah.
I'm always down for a good drug conversation.
Yeah.
So the last clip I had linked, we already watched earlier. It was you battle rapping.
Yeah.
So the last part that we have is just the fun questions. We always do a couple fun questions, you know? The first one, if you got diagnosed with a terminal illness today, let's say like doctor hit you up, he's like, yo, you got a month. What drugs are you maxing out?
I'm rolling the whole time. I'm on ecstasy, player, the whole time.
So rolling that into the next one, while you're on ecstasy, what kind of animal, like what's the strongest animal you think you could fuck up hand to hand?
I don't want to hurt an animal.
If you had to, like they're coming at you, they're
Why
attacking.
do I have to hurt it?
All right, bro, a mountain lion's coming at you, bro. Like he's about to eat you, dude. You're literally hiking.
I'm gonna try my best, fool.
Could you pack him up or
possibly?
lower than that?
Like honestly, mountain lion. Like so. Like okay, let me ask you this: Puma on full aggression,
kill me. He'll kill me.
So okay, but that's like an important like qualifying factor.
But I don't know. Like I
discussion.
mean, maybe you're trained in boxing or something.
No,
you're killing
I'm
animals.
weak
I
as
don't
hell.
know.
Like,
Okay.
if I don't have a weapon, like you feel me? Shit,
Okay.
Like,
All right.
He probably gonna beat my ass, lion. You feel, but like, and I love animals. Like I would rather the animal kill me. That's the honest answer. Like I'll fight a person more than.
Dude, that's tough. I mean,
like, I love animals.
I love animals too, bro. But like, damn, if the animal's trying to kill me,
I feel like I could beat a motherfucker. Like I feel like I could. Like the shit that I've survived, I could beat a bear. I could beat any animal.
a bear.
I could beat any animal. Like there's certain animals that I want no fade with, and just like okay, if I see a hippopotamus coming at me,
Oh,
I
for
know
sure,
what time it
you're
is,
out.
man.
Yeah, I'm out too.
I know what time it is. Like for sure, feel like I could get over on a crocodile or an alligator. I feel like they
Really?
Them motherfuckers dumb as hell, bruh. I feel like I could like finesse them, get like a piece of wood paws in their mouth, come from the side.
You better
poke
hope
their
you're
eyes.
correct, because if you're wrong, you're losing a limb.
I feel like I could finesse an alligator, bruh. Like they not that smart.
So alligator's the strongest animal you think you're fucking up.
Yeah.
Nothing above that though.
I mean, they pretty. Shit.
That's pretty high up, though.
That's pretty
That's
high up.
pretty high up.
Like, could I? Like, I feel like my chances. Because look, I'll tell you like this. I have a cat.
Okay.
I rescued a cat, and I know from my cat that cats are apex predators, and that a mountain lion would probably like be. Although I know reptiles are as well, and reptiles have zero regard for anything other than themselves. They're the ultimate. In fact,
They don't give a fuck. They're cold-blooded.
When we're in active addiction, we're operating on our reptile frequency. We just were looking for.
So you're like an alligator.
I'm like, yeah, like a snake.
Oh,
Okay. It's very serpentine. But I feel like, yeah, we just going to go with it. I feel like that's the honest answer. Alligator is probably the toughest animal I'm fading. And that's even like if. Depends. And if it's like Megazord alligator, shit, it might be bad for you, boy. It might be slimy.
That's got to be a brutal kill too. It's gonna be a lot of blood. You know, that's gonna be bad, bro.
It's gonna be a brutal kill.
It's gonna be fucked up, dude. The last one that we have. What's the worst weed you've ever smoked?
Bruh, I grew up in the 90s in Los Angeles. We were smoking that Bam Bam Bigelow Brown.
You're smoking some brick weed.
Swag, stress, brick weed. You feel me? Straight from fucking south of the. And that shit might have been sprayed with formaldehyde, PCP, whatever, bruh. You go into a random little cut, Paisa out there serving, you feel me? Shit. Like, I remember one time, me and the homies, like the homies from the Valley, and I'm with them, and they buying tweak, you feel me? They buying, at the time we called it speed and tweak. That the word meth wasn't popularly used, although it was always the same shit. You know what I mean? And like I was like, I want some weed. They're like, cool. They got it there too. Put some random ass alley in NoHo. Wouldn't know where it was today if I seen it. You know, there's like the Paisas out there. He's saying, and they asked me like, weed, like what you want, Dime or Venti? You feel me? You want a 10 sack or you want a 20? You feel me? I said 20, and they gave me like boom. It was like a big ass bag of brown weed, and yeah, smoking it out of a metal pipe. That shit ain't do nothing but serve headaches.
Oh God. That sounds brutal.
You could like overdose.
How much was it?
$20.
For how much?
How much? No, it was like this amount. There was no scales. You feel me? If I'm gonna estimate,
Oh God.
if I'm gonna estimate, more than a half zip. It was damn near probably
God.
And this is in the 90s when weed was way more expensive. And this probably it was like 18-ish grams of leaves.
And even though it only gave you that headache, you're still smoking that shit.
To the point where the first time I got quote unquote the chronic, aka regular, I was like, what is this shit? This ain't weed. I thought weed was supposed to be crumbled up oregano.
Yep.
I thought that this was they were trying to finesse me, but it was actually the good shit. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know what good weed looked like. Yeah.
Well, that's all the questions that we had written out today. And all I'm
Appreciate
going
it.
to say is this is a very long one, and this is a very good one, too. I appreciate you pulling up.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to everyone watching. Happy holidays to all y'all tuning in.
Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, and all that shit.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
This is a great one. Episode 39 of the Gobcast. Drop a like, drop a sub. For everyone watching, where can they find you at?
Shit, Lush One, you feel me? You can look me up on all social medias, Lush One CA on Instagram, Lush One on Twitter, ONE, and I'll be everywhere, man. Shouts to my boy Goblin. We turn it up. Come on, man.
Thanks for coming on, bro.
Appreciate it. Oh. It didn't break. Didn't break.
God,
Didn't
it
break. Didn't break.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh.
There's our clip. I know. I
We're
would
so that's like
I
a
would have owed you
$2,000
$5
bond.
grand.
That is,
and it
it's
didn't
two.
break. And it didn't
Yeah.
break. No cracks.
Oh, let me make sure.
Let's make sure.
Yeah, it looks okay.
Bring it to the camera.
Holy fuck! Yeah, bring it to the.
Bring it to the camera.
Probably lets you way too close, but
Yeah.
this camera will probably be.
That one?
Yeah.
Let's test it. Let's take a bong hit before we do. I'll take a bong hit.
No, I'll take one.
All right, you take
Wait,
one.
you just smoked tobacco out of it. You take one, actually.
I smoke tobacco and weed.
Yeah, that's a crazy pack. Oh
I'm
my
sorry,
God.
bro.
No,
I'm
it's
really
okay.
sorry.
It's okay, bro.
But yeah, keep rolling.
I mean, yeah, I haven't stopped.
I feel fucking terrible. I'm glad it didn't break.
It's okay. Oh God, that would have been really bad.
That would have been a real.
That's our
bad.
studio bong. That's our.
I'm clear.
It's okay. We have two studio bongs. So
And
it's
this
not
is
the end of the world.
totally my life. Made a great impression. Did great. Awesome podcast. Breaks the bong on the way out.
Well, you didn't break it. You didn't break it.
Luckily. Yeah. The night is young.
Hey, thank you all for tuning in. Episode 39 of the Gobcast. Drop a like, drop a sub, go sub to Lush, drop a like on his shit. I'll catch y'all on episode 40. Happy holidays. Next one's dropping on New Year's Day. Deuces.